who will be phoning in, and she'll be talking about thing about meditation, talking about how we should be, our mind's being programmed, and how we should reprogram our mind. How we take on these negative thoughts, these negative energy, and she's a very lively, full of energy, and she'll be joining us very shortly. And also we're touching the whole thing about diabetes. In fact, I was speaking to Lyndon not too long ago, Minty, and they said there's a big article in the newspaper about the whole thing about diabetes.
Lyndon, Lyndon
Yeah.
Roberts, Elder Lyndon.
No, Lyndon.
Oh, the expert, the
that's
diabetes,
diabetes.
specialist. Okay.
Yeah, not Rasmus. No.
The bread. Yeah, I know you're talking
Yeah,
about, man.
use the phones in quite regularly.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a big article in the paper about diabetes. Don't know if you observed that.
No.
You said he sent to my WhatsApp. I'm gonna have a look at it soon and see if I can look at it. But he said that it's really getting serious now. The whole thing about diabetes.
No, definitely, Dougie, because a lot more children are getting it now. Because I think it's the lack of exercise. Remember, youths used to run around back in the day, Dougie.
Yeah.
Now they're in computers, aren't they?
Yeah.
And indoors and being more sedentary.
And it's quite interesting because as a youth growing up, right? I spent a lot of my activities in the park. Playing football, playing cricket. I was very competitive. And when you go in the park now these days, you don't see many kids really. Well,
No.
what I see, really playing football, being competitive, just run up and down the place. Just you don't really see that. Like I said, most of them just on their computers now, and so forth. And the price of that now that you're not healthy, you're not active. You're not just active at all.
That's right, Dougie. That's
See?
right.
So one of the things they're trying to encourage now, get especially young people, everybody should be more active. Even myself, I'm not active. Well, not active as I used to be, 10, 15, 20 years ago. But we need to be more active.
But
Your
Dougie-
body's designed to move.
But you know the thing with the kids, what you're saying, like kids not playing out as much. I think especially young children. When I remember seeing shots of, there was a program on Liverpool about the black community, and they were showing shots of it back in the 80s. Granby Street was rammed, Dougie. That's the main thoroughfare in the black community. Now you don't see anybody there. There was kids running around. Now you don't see that again, as you said. But with this talk about unscrupulous people, around children, parents don't let the kids out play out anymore,
No,
man.
that is true. And that's an interesting point, that. A very interesting point. Okay, then. Just again, I want to big up to Raggedy, who done a fantastic show. Very lively. I saw him Saturday at the SLR dance, anniversary dance. And again, that was a very powerful dance, full of energy. And the DJs, them. It's funny, we see all the DJs them ready to line up to play, you know what I mean? And I'm just eager to go up on the deck, And it's good to see the SLR family just out there. Yeah. Eager. Oh, Raggedy said I was eager to play. I wasn't eager to play, man. You know what I mean? I let the experts them go in there, you know what I mean? And find out a lot of the DJs didn't get a chance to play, you know what I mean? I feel a few of them didn't get a chance to play, so it's just one of them. I think next time they have to come early. You have a queue up. I just make sure you get your pennies worth, So it was all fun. I see Raggedy, I jump up and I dance up and I skank, and I don't know if you can do that kind of move that Raggedy, it surprised me. Well, we just speak you much, and I jump up and I when the chronics come on, I see them on, jump up and feel nice, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all fun, So again, we're here to the Jammaster show, and we've got some serious information we're going to impart. And again, you're locked into the big station, Bless Radio. And if you want the Minty, I want to give it the you said the live link number first?
Then the live link number is 07944 431 366. I'll repeat slowly, so get your pens ready, because I know sometimes radio DJs give out the numbers very quickly. So I'll repeat. That's Raggedy in the background still about. Respect Raggedy, great set by the way. 07944 431 366. Go on, brother.
Yes, fantastic. As I said before, we do have intense show, and this information we get on Bless Radio is some powerful information, and we want to take this thing lightly, And as we said before, that, and in fact, we're hosting an event on the other thing about diabetes, prostate cancer, bowel cancer, and in health in general. And it's going to be a daytime event, and time is from 1 to 5. It's in Dalston, just down the road from about 30 seconds walk from Dalston Lane Junction Station. And what's going to take place? Okay then, we've got a sister on the line here. Let me just take this call here. Hello, greetings.
Hello, dear doggy.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Hold on, darling.
Great to be here.
Hang on, haven't quite catch you yet. Just bear me a second. We haven't quite got you hooked on yet.
Okay, my dear. Waiting for
Hold on,
you.
darling.
Do we need the volume up there? Hold on, let's see if it's here. Hold on.
No, don't do it.
Mono and polyunsaturated fats found in processed.
Yeah, hold on, sister. Can you give us a word? Can you give us a level, please, sis?
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, I can.
No, she can't. It's not coming through. Let me just try the other. Just bear a second.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Just bear a second, because the volume's very low on our side. It's nothing to do with you. It's on our side. The volume's very low.
Okay, my dear.
Just bear a second. We're not just haven't got the volume.
Try that.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, that's better. Slightly better.
Yeah, that's great. I can.
Can you hear
that's
me?
Great. Yeah, I can hear you.
She's loud.
Yeah.
The volume's not on this one. Turn your volume up on your phone.
No, it's up.
If the volume's up, we put the gain up as well.
I can. Let me try if I put the phone.
Hold on 1 second, sister. Just hold on 1 second, my sister.
1 second. Technically, we're just trying to sort something out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right up, man.
Hello?
You on loudspeaker? Dougie,
Huh?
you got your phone on loudspeaker.
Hello?
Hello?
That's it.
Okay, that's better now.
You had it on loudspeaker. You got
Yes,
that
that's
bit so it
great.
goes right down, you see?
Oh, okay then. All right then. Okay then. Sorry about it. It's just a little technical on our side.
Which one you using?
You know?
Yeah, that's no problem. I'm here for you, doggy.
Okay then. That's better now. Okay, sorry about that. I wonder if you can just
Headphones.
See.
introduce yourself and your name
Volume's
and
up there, Nancy's not.
what you're about.
Okay.
I can hear that. It's okay.
We are in now.
Yes.
Yeah,
we-
go on, sis. Go on.
go-
You're good.
We can hear you. You're good now.
Let me try it though.
Oh, that's great. That's great, doggy. Thank you very much. I am Chris Silveira. I am so glad I'm also here for the Wellness Academy from Michael Wright and all the people that also, brilliant people that also are in this wellness team. And I am also one of these participants, leaders also in this movement. And I particularly have as well my movement that calls the Miracle Tone.
Called
Living a
the
Legacy.
miracle tone, yeah?
The miracle tone.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The miracle tone. I'm talking about another kind of frequency of vibration that we need to reach to really manifest our dreams.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
We live nowadays in a fake mental system where we live in a very low frequency when we are struggling about fear, about lack of love, lack of money. We are in a very, very low frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that we need to understand is that all the signal that we send as electromagnetic field. This will come back in double to us. So if we are living and emanating a signal in a low frequency, this will come back in double for us. So I know that most of people are with so much pain, but what we need to do, we need to go to the vision of our dream.
Mm.
And then when we keep high, we are our vision high, we go to another frequency. We really can go to another dimension of love, of gratitude, of peace, abundance. And from there, we start to emanate another kind of frequency. And remember, everything that we send as a signal, as an electromagnetic field, will come back in double to us. So that's why it's so important we make practice as meditation and other
Right.
kinds of exercises to
Okay.
always put us out of our mind and go back to our home, to our
Okay.
soul, to our
I
inner
wonder if I can,
voice.
sir. I wonder if I could just jump in a little bit here because you know, it's quite interesting because the whole thing about meditation, you know, and it's a word
Yes.
we hear a lot, but just bear in mind. Also, we have Russ Mint inside the host, so he probably want to ask some question as well. Yeah, but what is the benefit of meditation, or why do you think we should do meditation? I just want to,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very important that people understand the benefit of meditation. Yeah.
Yes, it's really, really important. You know, Doggy, in our education, nobody taught us the most important thing, that is to look inside of ourselves.
It's true, very
So we
true.
live with a mind, with a crazy mind that we don't know what to do, that brings lots of negative emotions and bring lots of toxin to our body. And this, of course, put us in a very depressive state with a feeling of loneliness and attracting also people and situation that will make us to feel again in this kind of with this kind of feeling of lack of something, lack of love or money or something like that. What happened, what we need to learn, and what this is what my self-development academy brings to us, is an education that is from inside to outside. And there is no better way for us to come back home. And that's the invitation of meditation. Meditation is an amazing tool for us to shut down the volume and the conversation of our mind that lies most of the time, and put us in contact with our heart. And it's in our heart that we can open a portal to be in touch with our soul. And
Mm.
then, yes, from this place, we really can find the answers that we are looking for, because God is not outside, but it's inside of each one of us.
Mm.
So meditation is like when you make a prayer, God listen, but when you meditate, God answer.
Mm.
You know, it's really
I'm
we really
so sorry. I'm so
see
impressed.
answers.
I'm so impressed. You put the into perspective because one of the things I personally I wouldn't say we have a problem or wrestle with, but we tend to look for God outwards, like this man in the sky, or
Exactly.
where the real God is really within oneself.
Exactly.
You see, instead of going outward, look within oneself, and it's quite interesting when you mentioned that. Um,
Yeah.
I think another question would be I want to ask you, is that when we're talking about raising our
Yeah.
vibration, and we had
Mm-hmm.
this conversation the other day on another radio station, and I was quite impressed when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about the chakras, right? Now
Oh,
then,
yes,
I
yes.
wonder if you could talk about the chakras and what is the chakras, and again we do have Russ Mint inside the house who probably want to ask some question as well.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna explain. It's really, really important for us to understand that we were born in a culture and education that they taught us to be only human beings. But we are not only human beings. We are, first of all, spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, we need to know that we are here to have an amazing human experience without suffering, without pain. just with happiness and joy and peace and abundance. And what it means, chakra, it means that we are a body of energy. And as a body of energy, we have lots of points of energy in our body. So the chakras, chakra in Sanskrit means ring, ring of energy. So
Mm.
imagine that we have our spine, we have 7 floors. The first floor is in our pelvis, okay? The second floor, 3 fingers down our belly button. The third chakra, it's in our stomach. And normally, when we are in the stomach, it's when we are in our ego, and when we need exactly to transmute this energy from ego to personal power. And when we can do this, we can achieve the fourth chakra that is in our heart. And then the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown. So this means that we connected all the time with the Mother Earth and with the universe.
Oh, okay then.
But
Yeah.
but imagine that when we have these rooms of our building dirty, the energy can't flow the way that it should be flowing to send the message of what we want to the universe.
Mm. Mm.
So, what we need to do exercises, meditation practices to clean all the toxin that we have inside of us with all emotional problems and traumas that came since our past,
Mm.
since our childhood.
Mm.
And when we open to see the wounds, we clean this toxic energy that is still there. And that's why we still attract people and situations that make us feel rejected or abandoned or with lack of something, because we are still repeating the same programming of our childhood. And
Right.
that's what we need to clean.
Right.
So the chakras, they are really important for us to clean it every day, to really maintain our connection with the real Wi-Fi. That is the Wi-Fi that comes from universe.
Well, you see, I just want to say something that, because what you find, and I'm a victim of this, that we tend to hold on to a lot of baggage. I mean, what I'm saying, that we're not
Yeah.
able to let go. I mean, a typical example will be relationships, right? That you're in a relationship
Yes.
for, you know, say for 10 years, that person left you, right? And or was a bad relationship, and then you always have that kind of grudge against that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You say that person's horrible and blah blah, and you haven't really let go, and therefore you can't really move forward. Yeah. And what you find
Yeah.
that reason why a lot of people don't and they're not able to move forward, because not able to let go of a lot of stuff what's happened in their past. And what you find, right, that a lot of people have issues, right, with their parents, with their mum, their
Yeah.
dad. You know, it always come back down to their parents or someone in the past has done them something
Yes.
and never able to move forward because they want to let go of that. Yeah. Mm.
Exactly, exactly, Dougie. You really brought an amazing point here, and this is the problem of humanity, because we are living most of the time in the past, and that's what we need to understand. How is the design of our mind? The mind is always in the past or in the future, and we don't have a mind, sharpened mind, a trained mind, that we also can do this with meditation. We are always suffering for something that happened in the past, or struggling for something that will happen or will not happen in the future. So we are living in two imaginary worlds, but we are not living right here and right now in the present moment. And I only can create my future with the memories of my past and repeating the projections of pain and suffering, or I can be leading my life with the muscle through the present moment. And when you are in the present moment, you are not even in your ego, and you are making things to realize and make your dreams come true in the future. So, what is my recommendation is like imagine that we have lots of synapses in our brain. What is synapses? They are neural connections and they are like streets. So imagine that you are in the street of something that happened in your past that made you feel anger, for example. So you are now in the street of anger, in the street of suffering, in the street of pain, in the street of revenge, and you will go one side to another side always all the time going through the streets. That's what your brain does. And the other thing is like you also have the peptides in your body, and that makes you start to feel addicted for this kind of emotion. You start to get addicted for pain and for struggling. So what do you need to do? You need to start to create a new neurosynapse in your brain. And how do you do that? You do this training your brain for gratitude. So before you go to sleep, for example, before you go to sleep, you list 5 things in your day that you are grateful for. Even that you are passing through a situation with trouble, with struggling, you need to focus on that because your mind, your unconscious mind, is recording all the time. So what we need to do, we need to reprogram our mind and emotions for the things that we want. If you keep projecting the same stories of wounds and suffering of your past, you will be creating this for your future as well. So a list of gratitude where you are going to start to create a new neural synapse in your brain. So this street now we'll call gratitude. So we'll go and walk to this street every day until one day that will be automatically. And what this will bring to your body? Oxytocin, serotonin, and the feelings of happiness, the feelings of joy, instead of cortisol, that is the hormone of stress when you are in pain, suffering. So you will start to get addicted for good things instead of bad things. It's neurological, and we need to train our brain for it. And
Okay.
meditation is also important because of this. So start to list also 5 things about good things about this person. Start to see the good because everybody has the good and the bad. But when you can see the good, you will be attracting a new relationship with the qualities that you want and you also need to bring to your life.
Okay. Then. I just want to bring in Russ Minty, who's also here hosting the show with me, and also we have DJ Jammers inside host as well. But Russ Minty, do you want to add anything what's been said?
Yeah, thank you, Dougie. First of all, sis, I missed your name. What is your name, my sister?
It's Chris Silveira, my dear.
Chris.
Yes.
Okay, and where you've got a beautiful accent. Where is it from?
Oh, thank you very much. I am from Brazil.
Brazil. Oh,
Yes.
the New Year's Eve party.
No, she wasn't there. No.
Oh, okay. No, what you're saying is wonderful, my sister. It's beautiful. You speak so eloquently, and you're hitting all the points.
Thank you, my dear.
I was just wondering, where did you get this information from? Because I know studying African history, ancient Egypt, sub-Saharan African societies, nations, that this is a philosophy and an ideology, a spirituality, if you like, which the majority, if not all of them, follow. Now, when I look at Hinduism, I see similar things. Buddhism, Lao Tzuism, I see all the stuff that you're talking about. So I was wondering, where did you get these ideas from, this philosophy from, sis? What books did you read? Was it a religion? Was it a spiritual way of life? Where did you get this understanding from?
This is a very good question, my dear. Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
to share this with you. I had the honor in these last 10 years. I'm a journalist. I'm a communicator, universal communicator, I used to say. And in the last 10 years, I had the honor to be traveling around the world, studying with the greatest masters and humanitarian leaders. So I was with Shri Ravi Shankar, with Dalai Lama,
All
with
right.
Dr. Masaremoto, with Amit Goswami, Mary
Aye.
Morrissey.
Mm.
So I was in all the areas, since Buddhism and quantum physics and vibrational medicine,
Mm.
Diksha, Heiki, also finding answers to heal my own wounds
Mm.
and
Right.
also to bring a sense of healing and love to humanity. And experiences that I started to bring to my life, I started to share with thousands of people, testing and testing. And it works. It works if you work, and it's not magic. It's neuroscientific. Our brain have neurosynapses that we can reshape it all the time, and this is the magic of the things. But the only thing that we need is to bring practice, daily practice, for us to come back to the present moment. And it's like Dog is the name of his own radio show, Find Your Voice. And that's why I'm here, to inspire people, to them to come back home and to bring their own voice to the world.
Mm.
This is my passion.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And I know that when you begin to or understand these things, if you like, um, the as you've said so rightly, my sister, you want to share it with the world because it fills you up, and it fills you up to the point you're overflowing. You've got to get it out there. You've got to share it with people. So I really
Yes,
commend you. Will you be doing any? Is there any events happening with the sister? You doing?
No, no, she's only here in the UK for a short period of time to
Mm.
September.
yes.
So
I stay here 10 days more.
yeah.
And then I will come back to Barcelona,
Mm.
where
Oh,
I'm living at
okay.
the moment.
Okay, so my sister, you're here to just on a like a reconnaissance. You're trying to get information. Is that what's happening? Are you just meeting people? What's the purpose of your visit, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, yes. Actually, I'm launching now an online academy where we are bringing all this content to really to reach the world,
Mm.
because the internet now, it's a way for us to bring this awareness, this healing for people. And the online academy will be launched in English, in Portuguese, in Spanish as well. We are launching as well retreats in Brazil and in Barcelona as well, where people can come with me and have meditation practice, as pranayama, that is breathing exercise, Ayurvedic exercises, everything for us to learn a new education that is from inside to outside.
Right,
So
right.
I'm really, really put myself as a world change entrepreneur, as a humanitarian leader and life coach international, to
Okay.
really bring this new awareness and love to people's hearts, because I believe we are here in a mission. I believe, and the quantum physics also explain, when we bring our heart together with the same intention of love, of abundance, of gratitude, of peace, we really can become a machine of love. We really can spread as a field of energy. We really can spread this energy for the collective mind, and people will start to feel this energy much more than pain or struggling and suffering. So we are the change, each one of us. So when we change our inner world, we are to automatically
Okay then.
changing the life of at least 5 people around us.
Right.
So let's
Okay then.
do it more and more together,
Okay
right?
then. I wonder. Sorry. I wonder if you can just give out your email or your website. I'm just watching the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got someone probably phoning
Yeah.
in. He's probably phoned about 5 minutes ago, but because we're so engrossed in what you're saying, So if you can give it
Uh-huh.
your email and your website, if you don't mind, please, if that's okay with you.
Yes, of course. It's a pleasure and an honor as well for me to share with you. It's www.chris, it's CHRIS, and then comes the signal of less, and then Silveira. It's Silveira.com. So it's Chris Silveira. All right. Also, you can also put on the Google the Miracle Tone or my name, Chris Silveira. You will also find it. My email is info at chris-silveira.com as well. And if you want the WhatsApp that we also use for people to book the retreats and the sessions and consultation with me, it's plus 34. That is from Spain. It's 6914626662. All right.
Okay then.
And one more time, I really would love to thank as well the Wellness Academy, where Michael Wright is the leader of the group, with a team that also has many specialty in financial, in digital products, in happiness, in mindset. Is an amazing team as well, and we are together to help billions of people around the world to really reach a new frequency for them to manifest their dreams as well as we are doing. Thank you very much, Doggy. Thank you very much for this amazing and brilliant opportunity.
Okay. Well, thank you again. But again, we'd definitely like you to phone in probably in a few weeks' time. Even though you're in Spain or where we're going to be, we definitely want to continue this conversation with you, because what you're sharing is really just diamond. And you have not amazing, you have what's the word I'm looking for? Your voice is so smoothing, it's like healing. If you don't mind me saying so. So it's really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We still need to sing together, Doggy.
Yes.
You still didn't listen to me singing. We next time when I'm in Barcelona, I have my guitar, and I will also have the honor one day to sing to your audience.
Oh, well. Fantastic.
Then we really will raise our frequency together.
Okay then, fantastic. So Sylvia, again, give thanks for your contribution, and it really is a pleasure to have you join us on Bless Radio. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. God bless you as well, and all the audience. A big hug, each one of us. Keep shining.
Okay, give thanks. Okay.
Thank you, sister. Enough respect.
Bye-bye. Okay then. So again, we had that beautiful call from the beautiful sister, and she really is a lovely sister. I could listen to her all day, all night, because it's very smooth, very healing. All right then. Very shortly, we do have the great man Jammaster inside the host. Oh, we're expecting a call from Lyndon, who will be joining us very shortly. He probably tried to ring, but he probably couldn't get through because we had the sister was with us. Okay, what am I doing now? It's supposed to be
loads of different foods out there people think you should try to avoid, and we can never cover them all in just one video. So I've put together this list of 10 foods some people might not know are actually bad for you or the environment. Margarine. Margarine has long been heralded as a healthier option to butter. However, the sad truth is, neither of them are very good for you. Margarine's claim to fame was that it contains no cholesterol and was also higher in good fats that help reduce your LDL or bad cholesterol. Unfortunately, it's not that straightforward, as margarine is made out of trans fats, which are known to clog arteries and cause cardiovascular disease just as much as butter does. Apples. More specifically, uncertified American apples. In 2012, the European Food Agency banned apples from being sold in the EU that had been treated with a substance known as DPA. DPA is applied to almost all apples grown in America and allows farmers to store their apples for months at a time without going off. The real problem here lies with a study conducted by 2 British scientists in 1956. They reported that a chemical used in the production of DPA produced liver cancer, lung cancer, and a long list of other medical problems when tested on rats. When the EU challenged apple farmers about this, they couldn't produce any real evidence to counter the study, so the EU banned them for safety reasons. Microwave popcorn. Many people think popcorn is a healthy snack, But the sad truth is, unless you make it yourself, it's probably absolutely covered in fat, oil, sugar and salt, which we all know are not that good for us. Despite this, microwave popcorn is even worse for you. The microwavable bags are coated with PFOAs, a chemical that is directly linked to cancer. Palm oil. You might not have heard of palm oil, but chances are you definitely have eaten or used some of it. Palm oil is a vegetable oil derived from the palm fruit, grown from African oil palm trees. Over 50 million tons of palm oil is produced every year, supplying over 30% of the world's vegetable oils. Being a veggie oil, it obviously isn't that great for your health, but palm oil's real damage is done to the environment, animals and local people. In order to produce palm oil rapidly, producers have to burn down and destroy huge patches of forest so they can plant African oil palm trees. This obviously has a devastating impact on biodiversity. Currently, a third of all mammal species in Indonesia are considered to be critically endangered as a consequence of palm oil. Just take a look at orangutans, for instance. In the last 20 years, 90% of their habitat has been completely destroyed. If we don't stop consuming and producing palm oil at such a rapid, unsustainable rate, countless unique and beautiful animals will cease to exist under our own watch. Sugar-free candy. Sweets and candies that are specifically advertised as sugar-free tend to contain artificial sweeteners. And these sweeteners don't tend to agree with your digestive system. A great example of this are the reviews for sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon. Literally hundreds of people have complained about having extreme intestinal cramping and explosive diarrhea that went on for hours and hours after eating sugar-free candy.
Hello?
Hello, Brother Dougie.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. So you're with us. Okay, I want to let people know we do have the great man Lyndon on the line. And Lyndon, you seem to be everywhere now. How come you start boost up for your status, you know? Everybody start talking about you. You know, your book is getting some serious...
Because of you.
Huh?
Because of you. Since you come into my life.
Well, listen, I'm just jumping the bandwagon because when you get rich now, you know, I can kidnap you, you know, and take away some of the money there.
So that's the same thing, Steve.
I have my personal agenda now. Yeah, well, Lyndon, it's really good to have you, man. And since I've been reading your book, man, I get to know everything about you now. You know what I mean?
Don't tell my wife. She doesn't.
All right, then. So we have Lyndon talking about diabetes, and we also have Russ Mint inside the host as well. And also we do have the great man Jammaster inside the host as well, you know. And also we do have Margarine, you know what I mean, who's somehow just sitting in with us. So anyway, Linda, we go straight to the chase because I know Minty probably have some questions he wants to ask specific around the whole thing about diabetes and probably Jams as well, you know.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about diabetes, right? No, hold on. Before you even go further, share some information you shared me earlier on with the article in the paper. Is it today? Even Standard?
Yeah, there's an article in the Daily Mail today regarding the explosion of diabetes in the UK and how it's growing. And it even said that even children as 9 years old are being diagnosed with diabetes as well. So the age gap is coming down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's getting to the point where it's getting very extreme, and we know about it from a long time. But the thing is, we don't seem to be dealing with it. Whoever's supposed to be dealing with it don't feel like it's happening, because every year we're hearing about these stories of diabetes growing and growing, and you know, if it's growing and growing, why is it growing? That's the question we need to ask. What's happening?
But you know something, Lyndon. Yesterday I was in Dalston, and I was giving out a couple flyers. Well, just meeting some people and giving some flyers in some building. And next door, where the we're keeping the seminar, I went to this place called Hackney Cooperative Organisation or whatever they're called. I went in there because they know me quite well, right? So I asked them, can I put a flyer up? They said yes. And I tell them what I'm doing about diabetes. And you know that I spoke to 3 of the staff, right? No, 2 of the staff, right? No. And you know the 2 of the staff, right? Them have diabetes. Very serious diabetes, you know, right? And then I left and went to another building down Dalston. Just put up some flyers, just to get a little feel and try to encourage people to come to the event. And I talked to this other lady, and she had diabetes. So 4 people me speak to, right? These are women, you know, have diabetes.
Yes. Wow.
You know, 4 of the people me talk to have diabetes. So when they say that 1 every 2 African Caribbean Asian people have diabetes, right? You know, it's enough the mark. It's even serious than that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Minty, what you want to say about I mean,
Yeah, I mean, greetings, Lyndon. My name's Minty.
Greetings.
Yes, you know, I just think that what I want to ask you is that why do you think more children? Because me and Dougie were surmising about it before. Why do you think more children are getting diabetes nowadays, brother?
That's a good question.
I think because the parents are trying to make their children happy, you know, and keeping them happy by giving them drinks and food that makes them think they be happy, you know, because I've come across a lot of parents whose baby or their child's crying and they're upset, so they give them a sweet drink or some sweets to make them happy or to keep them quiet. And this is what happens. But what you're going to find, a lot of children from their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner, their snacking, that's in between, and the drinks that they're having in between as well, is all carbohydrates. It's all sugar. So this is why it's getting more and more. And within a lot of food as well, there's a lot more preservatives. And even in savoury food nowadays, savoury foods are getting sweeter and sweeter.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
No,
because
go on, bro.
because
Go
they're
on,
having
go on.
their-
Sorry, go on, bro. Go on, go on.
Yeah, because they think and feel people need to have certain ingredients to attract them. They had it, and it becomes addictive. So when a young child is having all these foods that's making them sugar intake for type 2 diabetes, for example, it's just an ongoing thing. It's hard to change the palate over a period of time.
Sure.
You know, I got a friend who posted on Instagram recently. He's got a 3-year-old baby, 3-year-old child, and he's giving him one of these ice lollies. You know, these bright orange ice lollies. And I said to him, no, at such a young age. You know?
Yeah.
And this is just full of sugar. This is where they get it from. So if you don't give them something when they're crying that they know, they're going to keep crying. And because they're used to that product, they're going to keep having it.
Yes. Also, bro, I think that, and I agree with you. And also, there's a lot of food with hidden sugars in there, which they don't. You look on the label, and you never see it. Also, I think that kids don't get out as much and run about like they used to back in the day.
100% not. Yeah.
Because that's how you burn off the sugar in your system, man, and keep your blood thin by running, exercising, which is one of the cures to diabetes. But I think that all these factors, like what you said, and just a couple we've added on, have really have bettered the condition of the young people in relation to diabetes.
I just want to write on what Ras Minty was said earlier. Just said, because me was talking earlier on, and as a youth growing up, you know, I used to live in the park. I used to, you know, play all kind of sports, very competitive, always in the park. And my dad used to come and, you know, get me, come out the park and stuff. You know what I mean? You know. But the funny thing is that you don't see many children, kids them in the park playing football or cricket or in the park, just having fun, you know, just playing sports, and you know, and you just, most of them are just in their home or just loafing or whatever the case, on the computer and whatever, you know. And again, they're not active like first time, you know.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's changed so much. A lot of people say because people are more on computers, they're on the phones, they're on social media, that kind of thing. That could be one of the reasons, you know, playing all these games as well. Could be one of the reasons. But then again, you've got a percentage of people out there who are still exercising and still doing good things, you know.
But don't you think, bro, that, I mean, sorry to cut you. I want you to continue talking. But don't you think that there are a lot more youths who stay in on the computers nowadays than, like, I'm sure that you're probably around our age, early 20s, and when we were young, there was no computers.
Yeah, I'm only 25.
Sorry, mid-20s, bro. But when we were young, in the 70s and the 80s, there was no computers.
Yeah.
There was no McDonald's, you know, there was none of these. You go out with your friends, you're out till...
Yeah.
It's in summer. You go out early, you come back for your dinner, you go out again, and then you come back 9, whatever, 10 o'clock, and you're out all day.
Yeah.
You're never in the house, man, so... I think...
I mean,
go on, brother, go on.
I mean, it's even in some schools now. Some schools, they don't do athletics or PE like they used to.
That's
you know?
right.
My daughter goes to a school. It's an academy school, media school, and they hardly do any exercise there. You know, she doesn't come home and say, "Oh, where's my PE kit? Where's this? Where's that?" The school that she was at before, she always had PE on a regular basis. You know?
Yes.
But thank God my daughter plays netball regular, which I'm so happy for. You know? And sometimes I have to physically leave work early, yeah, to get home, to pick up my daughter, to take her netball. Because it's not just down the road. And I got to pick her up from netball, or I stay with her and watch her do netball. Because I tell you the truth now, if my daughter wasn't doing netball, she'd be much bigger now. Yeah? And if I wasn't on my healthy regime most of the time, she wouldn't be either. Because my daughter detox. She has detox days. She has days when she doesn't drink anything fizzy or anything like that. She just has water days. And she would tell me, "Dad, I'm not having no sweets this week at all. Nothing like that, Dad."
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know? And that's because she's seen an example like myself. So sometimes it's down to the parents as well to do that.
Absolutely.
You know? It's down to the parents. It's like one of my daughters, she's got 3 children under the age of 6. Yeah, okay? And she put them as vegetarians. They don't eat meat. So, and she doesn't give them sweets like we would. I went to the house the other day, and I thought to myself, I didn't have time to get them anything proper. So I said to myself, what do I get them? So I bought them some hula hoops. Yeah? So I thought, okay, that's kind of safe, you know? When I got there, my daughter said to me, no, Dad, put that away.
Yeah, but you know why though, bro? You know why? Because the carbohydrates in there.
Exactly. But the good thing about it, from my daughter to her children, they're conscious about it.
Sure. So what snacks?
You know?
What snacks, brother? Does your daughter give, or what would you recommend? Because we've all got we need sugar in our diets.
Berries.
Go on, bro.
Blueberries. Blueberries. Yeah, or you can make little snacks. If you got like a child who likes, well, we don't know, because a child has to have a palate of what the parents have given them in the mornings, yeah, or whatever snacking on, yeah. So if you're gonna do a snack, yeah, you can do something with a fish, yeah. You can do something with a vegetable, you know. You can do like a hummus as a snack. There's certain things that you can take and have, even like a cucumber, or you chop up a nice tomato as a snack, you know. But don't forget, even if you cook down a tomato, yeah, okay, you fry it off with a bit of onion and you chop it up and blend it. You could use it as a dip.
Sure.
You know, and you could put some coconut in that as well, some organic coconut oil, because a lot of children they like coconut. Yeah, so you can make a dip as well for the coconut. some of them don't like bread. One of the breads that I try and eat most of the time now is like sourdough bread, because it's got its own natural raisin agent in it, so there's no yeast in it, and it doesn't bloat out the belly or bloat out the body like other normal bread, and it's not as sweet either. You know, so things like this that we need to implement. You know, so the snacking part is don't get me wrong, is difficult, but once you know what you can do, and the child has a palate of liking it, they get used to it. They get used to it. Once upon a time, we were just eating cucumber, you know, as a snack. But the funny thing is nowadays, cucumber in the UK and tomatoes, they don't taste like they're supposed to. A lot of the fruit and vegetables now, they're losing that. Yeah.
So you're saying a cucumber doesn't taste like they used to?
You don't taste like you used to. I go to Poland, I go to Bulgaria, yeah, okay, and when I go there, I just eat salad. Yeah, because it tastes so different.
Yeah.
Yeah? If a lot of people in the UK travelled to Europe and they saw fruit and vegetables just dropping off the tree on the street, yeah, that is natural.
For sure.
And then when you taste it, it's like, wow, there's flavour in this. You know?
Okay. Lyndon, I just want to let people know that you will be at the in Dalston. That'll be on the 10th of September. Time is from 1 to 5. This is on 24 to 30 Dalston Lane. Yep. Where Linda will be talking about diabetes. See? And also we have Vasco Stevens who will be talking about prostate cancer. And also they're
brilliant. That's good.
Yeah, and also we
brilliant.
have someone talking about bowel cancer on the 10th. Yep. And also Lyndon do have a book. Lyndon, let people know about your book and your where people get your book from, and your YouTube channel as well, please.
Yeah, basically my book's called The Inspired Diabetic. It's a book about my journey on how I reversed my type 2 diabetes in 105 days naturally. So the book, in my book, it covers my journey from what I was eating from before to what I was eating during my transition of reversing my diabetes. You know, and there's a lot of similarities in my book that a lot of people will relate to, for the simple fact that they go through certain symptoms they do within their life, yeah, and they don't know what the symptoms are. So in my book and in my talks, which I'll be doing on the 10th, yeah, I'll be talking about the history of me, my journey. I'll be talking how I reversed my type 2 diabetes in 105 days. I just give people the guidelines on what to do and how to do it, yeah, but not necessarily in 105 days like I did. Yeah? How I became to write the book, you know, because I wrote the book by default, and it's a very interesting story which I talk about there, because some things happen in your life which you don't expect to happen, but the way this happened for me is just by chance that I wrote the book, you know. I've been talking about foods that can assist you by nutrition, calories. I've been talking about foods that gives you blood glucose stabilizing. I could talk about menu plan with people, exercise, yeah, what's right for you, recipes, ingredients. It just goes on, you know. The four main principles which I'll be covering for the day will be the mindset, diet, exercise, and fasting, and how to take those four things and transit them into the aspect of reversing their diabetes over a period of time. Right.
Okay, so Lyndon, please give us your website and your email address. And I know you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on this and that. And no wonder your boots over the place, man.
Yes, it's because of you. That's why. That's why I'm going on the 10th. You know, my website is called theinspireddiabetic.com. Theinspireddiabetic.com. On social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's at El Wissart. Yeah. And also on YouTube, it's a Lyndon Wissart. Lyndon is Lyndon, and Wissart is WISS for sugar, ART.
Okay,
Yeah.
then.
And there's a lot of information there to help people. Because on the 10th, Dougie, I want to engage with people and give them the belief that they can do something. It's a stepping stone. You know?
Absolutely.
And even today, I was just thinking about it. In like 4 months' time, it's going to be Christmas. You know? And then people are going to start overeating. You know? So my vision is to get some people in a frame of mind to do some, not diet, but get themselves cleansed before Christmas.
Before Christmas, okay.
Before, you know. And then in January, I'm looking to put on some events in January for the people that, how do you put it, slide back in December. You know? So in January, I'm looking to put on some events where people could come and get their 2019 off to a good start. Give them guidelines through mindset, diet, exercise, and fasting, and what to do to help them through to get started for the new year.
Right, absolutely.
So it's a continuation of a program.
Okay, then.
It is.
All right. So listen, Lyndon, again, thank you for coming out your busy schedule to join us on the line and share some information.
Pleasure.
Definitely want to be speaking with probably next week so people know more about you, because you know my purpose is to get as many people around the world know about you, bit by bit, day by day. We started the process. So again, Lyndon, big up yourself every time, my brother.
Thank you very much, Brother
Yeah,
Dougie.
man.
Thank you.
Respect,
Thank you for
Lyndon.
having me on your show.
Thank
Thank
you, my
you.
brother.
Yeah, man. Respect, Lyndon.
Thank you.
Bless
Actually
him.
bad for you or the environment. Margarine. Margarine has long been heralded as a healthier option to butter. However, the sad truth is, neither of them are very good for you. Margarine's claim to fame was that it contains no cholesterol and was also higher in good fats that help reduce your LDL or bad cholesterol. Unfortunately, it's not that straightforward, as margarine is made out of trans fats, which are known to clog arteries and cause cardiovascular disease just as much as butter does. Apples. More specifically, uncertified American apples. In 2012, the European Food Agency banned apples from being sold in the EU that had been treated with a substance known as DPA. DPA is applied to almost all apples grown in America and allows farmers to store their apples for months at a time without going off. The real problem here lies with a study conducted by two British scientists in 1956. They reported that a chemical used in the production of DPA produced liver cancer, lung cancer, and a long list of other medical problems when tested on rats. When the EU challenged apple farmers about this, they couldn't produce any real evidence to counter the study. So the EU banned.
Yes, hope people listen to the CD here. That's a very powerful CD. And already people say, "Wait, Dougie, can I have a copy?" I say, "It's no problem, man." You know, because where they talked about the 10 things you should be doing, should be avoiding, and 10 things you should be taking for your diet. Simple things, you know. So again, as you know, that we're very conscious when it comes to the thing about health. It's not an easy journey, you know. It's not easy journey, but we're very conscious and we're working towards that, you know. Because you have a healthy people, you have a healthy community. Okay, so inside ours we do have Jammers, the original Jammaster show, and he'll be sharing some information with us. Also, some big information
Find your voice in
coming up.
association with Hackney CVS presents truth about prostate cancer, bowel cancer, diabetes, and education. education. This will be focused around solutions over 3 weeks. 1 in 4 black men will develop prostate cancer. 1 in 2 black African and Caribbean people will develop diabetes. Bowel cancer is the second biggest cancer killer in the UK. There'll be a panel discussion focused around answers.
Monday the 10th of September at the Adia Antigua Centre, 24 to 30 Dalston Lane, E8 3AZ.
Find Your Voice in association with Hackney CVS presents truth about prostate cancer, bowel cancer, diabetes and education. This will be focused around solutions over 3 weeks. 1 in 4 black men will develop prostate cancer. 1 in 2 black African and Caribbean people will develop diabetes. Bowel cancer is the second biggest cancer killer in the UK. There'll be a panel discussion focused around answers.
Monday the 10th of September at the Adia Antigua Centre, 24 to 30 Dalston Lane, E8 3AZ. Next door to CLR James Library, 2 minutes walk from Dalston Junction Station.
Dates again, Monday the 10th, the 17th, 24th of September, all on a Monday. Time 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, contact Brother Dougie on 0788240371. This is a free event.
Okay then, as you heard, we do have an amazing event what's coming up, on the, as I said, 10th, the 17th and the 24th. It's a daytime, all on a Monday. I'm encouraging ones and ones to come out, seen. And when we first said we're going to put event on the day in the daytime, as one to our bros, people say, "Oh, you sure you get people to come out?" We can't think negative, When you start thinking you can't, you defeat yourself already. They put them on the people up and down by the place. You know what I mean? During the daytime. We just want a handful of people to come out. Obviously, yeah, it's going to be challenging because people are doing things and everything, But we're convinced that it's going to be a full house on those 3 events there. Seen? That's going to take place. All right then. So I know that Jam's got some events he wants to talk about. Minty, you want to read out the event?
We just read it out. That was
Oh,
the
that was
advert.
right.
I think Jammers.
Oh,
just got
Jammers.
something, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know what Jammers was. I thought
it's
Jammers come
cool.
out the room.
It's all good. I'm still there. Big up family. Big up the blessed family.
Sorry, beg your pardon. I thought Jammers
It's
disappeared.
okay,
No,
because we're
still-
so used to not having him here. That's what it is. That's all.
Yeah, I'd like to just thank everybody for the support that we've been getting here on Bless Radio. All the presenters and the management, and plus the presenters working hard. Yes, Dougie and Minty. Yeah, like what you've been doing earlier on. Just like to introduce an event, a forthcoming event called Core Stability. Once again, it's called Core Stability, and it's on the 29th of September 2018, starting from 12 p.m. and goes on till 8 p.m. at the White Hart Lane Recreation Park. Once again, at White Hart Lane Recreation Park. You're in the recreation. There, I'm practicing for October. There will be plenty of different attractions, entertainment and advisors available for all age groups, and opportunities to learn dancing and public speaking. Come and voice what amenities you have, what you want to see in the park. Don't miss the chance to find your voice, because Brother Dougie will be there. Our main focus is to get the people in the community to connect with each other. So this is what we're going to be doing at the park. Share each other's experience, memories, and real life stories. You're also invited to join us on this. You're invited to join us on this important day. Core Stability is creating an environment for families to work together and to connect with the communities. Once again, it's Core Stability in the park on the 29th of September, and that's at from 8 p.m. at the White Hart Lane Recreation Park. And they've appointed me to I'll be doing a language-rich environment, so I'll be there offering services on how we can enrich our environment with the community. Doug, you've got a role there as well. What will you be doing on that day?
Well, I'll be doing quite a few different roles. I'll be supervising stewards. I'll just be thrown around and make sure everything's running smoothly, almost like a conductor, making sure everything's on time and everything's organizing. So I'll be floating around.
Yeah, good. Big up, big up, big up. Now, I've got big up Siam. I had a little talk with Siam when we was reasoning on the conscious tip earlier. So you're welcome to call in Siam, and I'll be putting that into perspective with this, because based on what was taking place earlier, see, the problem we have is that if we don't want to take control of the food supply, if we're not taking responsibility, because the first requirement of any species of animal is food, you know. So if you're not going to take responsibility for your food supply, then you're at the mercy of everybody else, you know. And if you're not going to move in accordance with nature, then the effect on you is gonna be detrimental to your health and well-being. So the source of the problem of dis-ease is our relationship with the planet Earth and the resources that the planet Earth offer to us. You know, are we prepared to take control of the resources for ourselves and feed ourselves, our children, to maintain our well-being? Are we going to continue to leave it in the hands of others? You know, and as we was mentioning last week, what happens is when they find something that is popular with us, they make a cheap version of it based on finances. You know, especially if it's another race of people that is supplying us with the food products. So even if we think we're eating something healthy, because it is out of our control where the food is, we don't know if we're eating plastic, we don't know what chemicals have been put in there. You know, and this is going to be a major problem. We're not going to solve this problem of dis-ease until we start to decide to take the responsibility of growing and producing food for ourselves. Anybody like to add anything to?
Well, you see, you know, son, you're on point there, Jammers, because you know what's interesting, that I listened to the reasoning by Muta Baruka. One of the things he said, and I'll never forget this, he said that, you know, we should be growing our own food because it's safer if you grow your own food onto your plate and from the plate into your mouth. You know, because we don't know where the food's coming from. You know, people say anything. People say it's organic, but how do you know it's organic? You know, how do you know it's organic? You know, so I mean, one of the things we need to be looking at, you know, and I've talked about this some time ago, and even I've talked about it, and people say yeah, but actually get into motion, you know, it hasn't really happened. But we need to be thinking about growing our own food.
And I just want to put it in perspective. Yeah, would you lend your shoes to anybody out there? Would you take your shoes and let somebody wear your shoes for a day and give it back to you? I don't think so. Would you let a stranger wear your underpants and take it back of them? I don't think. Would you let somebody take your car and bring back your car? And these are outside things. So you wouldn't give your shoes away, you wouldn't give your car away, you know.
Well, I might give me underpants away depending on the
But you take them back afterwards, that's the problem. But so the thing that you're gonna put in your mouth, you're gonna give that responsibility to somebody else and base, you know, that they're gonna have your interests at hand. You know, this is a serious, you know, psychological breakdown that we're having when we're prepared to let the person that we say is our enemy give us the thing that we're consuming.
True. But how many times have we seen where, like they say, like a pack of Walker's crisps and there's a mouse head's found in it or something, you know what I'm saying? So we don't know the process. As Dougie said, it's from stable to table. You know, we don't know what's gone on through that process, basically. So that's why I remember when we were on the show, the other show, your show, and we were talking about the prices going up, so we need to get food groups, and even people have their own allotments.
Yeah.
Foundational, man. Very important, man, to start growing your own food. And I think not just growing it. When I think about not just growing it, but selling it as well, if you can sell it, if you can make a surplus. I remember one of the first Rasta movements, or should I say the first Rasta movement pinnacle, one of the things they taught there was self-reliance, of course. Do everything for self. That's including growing food. They made so much food because remember this was developed in the 30s when there was a depression, Dougie. So they were selling food to Jamaica that even Jamaica couldn't grow. They had the surplus of food. They were living fat in Pinnacle, and they were growing their own food and selling it. So much food they had. They were selling to the people. They were selling to prisons eventually. So that's how important it is to start growing your own food, man. I was reading another article today about, you know, we've heard again about how they put certain foods they don't sell in England, they'll sell in Africa, like baby food with certain poisonous substance in it. This is crazy because we don't know what we're putting in our mouths.
Yeah,
so the importance of growing our own food is something that I've always been a fan of, man. And I'm still into getting an allotment as well, definitely. I'm still very much a fan of that and supportive of that.
Absolutely, that's very powerful. What Russ Minty just pick up on that, and it's very important, you know, for us to know to start looking. Have your own allotment. If we've got a back garden or whatever, start doing something. You know what I mean? You know, cause we got to start from somewhere. You know, we need to start from somewhere. Jammers, you want to write into what's been said?
Yeah, well, that's just.
Can I just say that what you said was excellent to Jammers? You kicked it off and it was on point.
Respect. That's
very important. What you're saying, man.
Well, it is to see. This is the problem. We have to, you know, as a species of animal, that you know, you've got to take responsibility, or to determine, if you want to really determine your destiny, you know. And as I said, food, shelter, and enlightenment, which other people call education, is the key factor to self-determine yourself, you know, and to reach your optimum. Because basically, unless you take those steps, you're always going to be needing a doctor. Or having you was working at the after effect, and the source is always going to be there, giving you the poison that's happening. And what Dougie said as well in relation to they're having an event on in the day, you know, basically, you know, you can decide what you want to create, you know, with the power of your mind and manifest it into a reality. You know, when you take control of anything that you want to do, you know, you can manifest it into reality. So, and the key element as well, we've got to start, as I keep saying, we've got to start throwing away these words that they give us, because basically, even in relation to food, when you plant a seed, you know, you nurture the seed, and the seed gets stronger and it generates and brings forth at the fruit. So basically, when you nurture a thought, like the word fear, and then they supply that word and they supply all the ingredients to create the fear, then that seed is planted in your mind, and then unless you throw that word out of your consciousness, you're going to start perpetuating and creating that word into a reality into your life. You know, so we have to start throwing away these words, stop understanding the words. You know, if somebody was cussing you in French and you don't know French, it wouldn't have no effect on you. So basically, the words that they're putting the seeds in your head, and you're perpetuating existing into your life. You know.
Well, a good example of that is the word stress, I think.
As soon as you said that word, I felt stress. You have to feel stress to say it. You know. So that's right. You put out. It's a trigger that you have to create the feeling of the word. So actually, the word is the trigger, and you're creating the feeling.
That's a very good example.
So it's putting you're putting, just by that word, you're manifesting it into a reality, into your brain cells, and then that's coming out into your actions, and then it's going to rebound. Your stressful actions is going to rebound back on you.
In fact, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the fact that you've mentioned the word, say for example, you said you're under stress, right? You've already told yourself you're under stress, right? So it's quite interesting. I never thought about that. That's very powerful. That one.
Well, Dougie, like what the sister was saying, I don't think she touched on
it.
Big
up Sayomi, actually, who stimulated this up, so I've got to give Sayomi the credits, because we had a little chat about this before.
Well, I think that the sister, even before you mentioned Sayomi, was kind of alluding to that. I mean, I was listening to an American entertainer, Dougie, a black man from America, and I don't want to mention his name because people might start get upset. But what he said, and he's very successful, and he said, you can will yourself into a better space. Yeah. You can will a better life for yourself, and that's obviously through what you tell yourself.
Was it Will Smith?
I'm not calling his name. Will Smith.
You said will yourself, innit?
So I think that, and you know, there's a reggae song I love. I play it all the time by Richie Spice. It's called "Make It," and it's got a line in it that says, "You got to speak it into being." The power's in the tongue. The power's within us, as the sister was saying, Dougie. It's within. We've got to look for our guidance and for our know-how and our wherewithal. The power is within us, and as soon as we recognise this, that's when we'll be free. You know, it's interesting, Dougie, because I saw Althea, our old friend Althea, the other day, and I remember that she'd done a number of videos with you, and some, I'm sure Jammers may have done one as well. So I looked at one, and I looked at an old one that we did, and you asked me, how did you get moots? Because you were kind of shocked. How did this clown get moots? You didn't say that, I'm just saying. He said, how did he get moots? And it was the very same process, Dougie. No praying, no hoping, no wishing. It's the visualization process and the focus and the affirmation that this thing is real, man. I'm not letting this thing go. And then I said in the same video, one day I was focused on this thing so much I just jumped out of my bed like a kangaroo, Dougie, and I said, I'm gonna get this thing today. And that's it. It's a self-hypnosis, if you like, hypnosis.
Well, actually, it's the way. This is another key element. You see, the key it's your identity. Unless you know who you are, you know, you're not going to act in a way to perpetuate that into existence. You know, if you've got a false definition of who you are, then you're never going to manifest yourself into who you are. You know, so the key element is to know, and a part of knowing who you are is how you actually function. So, Minty gave an example. This is how you function. Basically, you set a target, and your body will pull it into a reality. The problem is we're letting other people set the targets for us, and they're using our operating system against us. For instance, Valentine's Day. You know, when the word Valentine, they create this Valentine's Day, and all of a sudden, it brings out the love concept. People fall in love, people move towards this love. But the thing is, you're creating the feeling to pull it into existence. You can have a Valentine's Day every single day of the week. But now you've got it on hold, so they tell you this is the day that you and your partner celebrate your existence together. Then they say Christmas, this is the day that you and your family get together and socialize. Then they give you Easter, this is the day where you exchange sweets towards each other. And then they give you bonfire night, this is the day where we have explosions and blah. So they're actually making you move how you could move yourself.
Well, the conditioning, you know, aren't they, basically,
that's right,
bro? That's what it is, man.
But another thing, what I'd say is they're tapping into your operating system, because as you were saying, and Dougie's saying, basically, we have the power to create our own reality. You can have a concept, and with the emotion you tie to that concept, you can make yourself. As Dougie always says, if you find a £50 note on the floor, all of a sudden you're happy. You know, so that means you have the ability to think £50 note all of a sudden, and you can be happy without the £50 note. You know, so that's just an external trigger that they've given you. They've given you all these external triggers, but you're the one that creates the emotion that makes it a reality to substantiate the feeling that you're feeling anyway.
I just want to ride on to as a quite interesting point you made there, Jam. I'm totally in agreement with you. Hey, Jam, I wonder if you read 2 books before you come out here. Because I've noticed that you're coming some power, man. You know? Yeah, I've noticed that. But I just want to ride on what Rasminti was saying, right? That he jumped up and he said, this is a must, right? So when he said this is a must, right? You feel it right through your soul of your body, your energy, and you create that physiology. Because it's a difference, you know, because words is, you know, if you say that maybe, you know what I mean, I might try a thing, or that's not done. But if you say it's a must, this got to be done, it's a done, because you feel it in your power and your energy. It's all about energy. And this is what Jam was talking about earlier on. It's about that energy and that must. And you see, you could do anything, but you got to feel it with so much power and say it's a must. That's right. You know, that's right. And it's a done deal.
And of course, we have the power, because everything moves in circular fashion, to create our own existence. I mean, just how they can make the future happen, in line with what Doug is saying, you can make the future happen. Once again, the past is something that is precise. You remember the date, you remember certain exact dates, you remember the cars you used to have, you remember the clothes you had, you remember the partners that you went through. So your past is something that is precise. You know most of the past. Your present is something that you have knowledge of some of it, some of it you don't. The future is vague. But if you can make your future precise by putting the how into it, like what Minty and Doug is saying, all of a sudden it's not a mist anymore. You know, this is the step that I'm going to take to make that, and then the future becomes clear. And then when you think of it now, that future's become into your present now, because you can see exactly what the moves you're going to make. And then when you start to think about the moves you're going to make, now you put that future into the past, and that past you can draw on into the present to make the future come through.
Well, that's beautiful what you said. Both of you have said it's Dougie, the feeling and the vision, and it's a combination, isn't it? The thought, the vision, the feeling. I mean, there's a saying: if you want to make the future, create it, basically, and that's the reality, you know. And I think that all what we're talking about. That's why I was speaking to the sister, asking her about where she got her ideas from, because from my knowledge of the African mystery systems, Dougie, starting with Egypt and all the African societies, Igbo, Yoruba, Ashanti, the Zulus, all from east to west, north to south. I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africans who look like us, Dougie. Not the Muslims like the Somalians, and not the North Africans, West, Central and South Africa. There's a cultural system when it comes to quote-unquote spirituality, because there's no such thing as spirituality in African system. Everything is a oneness, and what it is that there's a process in achieving your goals. They say there's a process, and the process is, first you've got to visualize it, you've got to see it in your mind, you've got to think it, you've got to see it, and then you've got to, as you said correctly, you've got to feel it, man. And that's what made me jump out of bed like a kangaroo, Dougie, because I felt it so much. I had to bring it into reality. We have to recognize the conscious mind. Let me Jammers come in, man, because
basically this is now the key element. Is what I was saying is your identity. When you have a policeman knows what he's got to do. A Man United player is never going to play for Man City. Arsenal player. Once you got an idea, you know the ant's going to be the ant.
Dennis Law did. Sorry,
the ant's always going to be an ant because he knows what a dolphin knows what it's going to be. So your identity, and what we've been talking about is you have an operating. When you have your identity, you also have knowledge of your operating system. And what we've been saying, you can manifest your own existence into reality. You have the power to do that. This is where they've tampered and taken away our power by giving us a false spirit now. You haven't got your own spirit. Remember, you've got the spirit to pull everything into existence. But now they've taken your spirit out and given you a ghost spirit now to look at this ghost spirit to do everything for you, you know. Just live for today. Tomorrow will take care of itself.
Hold on, bro. Is the ghost spirit the God thing?
Belief system, yeah, a belief system, which is not. Nature gives you facts, senses see things. You can taste the water, you can see the light, you can walk on earth. Nature is all about facts. It's all about things that you can see and things that you can pull into existence. To activate your spirit and emotion, you need some facts to make it a reality. So what they've done, they've given you a fantasy and they give you a belief system to take away your spirit. They've given you a spirit outside of yourself to look at to, and hope that this spirit's going to come down and give you a blessing. Give you one blessing.
But you know, but that's the top and bottom of it. And you know, I fight against this God concept all the time. As you know, we listen to Baruch Dougie, and that's similar, but not exactly the same, but similar perspective where I'm coming from. This God has been created for us to stop us recognize our own divine power. Now, you talk about identity. That's very important, Brethren, because Freud called your mind the id. Now, where'd you get your ideas from? Your identity, your ideas determine your identity. It's all to do with the id. Go on, bro.
The worst thing that no, just said in the lines of the worst thing that you notice the spirit that they give you doesn't look like you. So you have to identify with somebody other than yourself to hope that this identity that's not like you will help you. So basically, you don't want to claim your identity. You aspire to the identity of the other belief system that they've given you to look to.
But this is what is promoting the inferiority in our people. This very thing, what you're talking about, bro.
And we worshipped physically, and now we worship mentally.
Talk the thing, man. I just want to talk about the conscious mind, because I've read and to my understanding, the conscious mind is like a gateway. We let in what we want, and we can close off what we don't want. So when we want to focus on something, we're trying to imprint ideas into the conscious mind. And those ideas that we allow into the conscious mind are the same ideas that go into the subconscious, what we call the subconscious. And when we let these ideas go into our subconscious, we become those ideas, basically. So that's when we talk about willing something, because we put so much of our energy into our being that's who we become, and that energy is going to vibrate with something out there. It's going to bring the thing. Do you want to say something, Dougie?
Yeah, no, I'll just jump on the whole thing about the conscious, subconscious mind, and the conscious. But you got to understand, the conscious can't differ what is real and what is not real.
Right.
You see? Right? I mean, a good example, if you watch a horror movie, even though it's not real, you still get frightened. You see what I'm saying? So you just show you how you go protect your mind. Your mind's so vulnerable.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So this thing is no joke business where I talk about, you know. You know what I mean? The mind, you know. Look here. Let me show how powerful the mind is, you know. Me watch a thing on TV, you know, Minty and Jammers, right? And it's about these these women, right? In I can't remember somewhere in India or whatever, right? Look glamorous, look nice. But you look at them, they set them up, they're my man, you know what I mean? So we get jumpy, right? They look better than the women in them place there, right? Right? But what is right? These men decide they want to be like a woman, you know what I mean? It just shows you, Reggie,
the power of the mind.
The power of the mind.
No, definitely, Dougie. And also, I mean, just adding to what you're saying, Dougie, you're making a great point. Just when you think about a dream, and it's an intense dream, or it's a sensuous dream. When you wake up from the dream, you still think you're in the dream.
Yeah.
You know, if you've had the dream which is scary, and you wake up, you're thinking, who's in my room? Where are they? That's how powerful the mind is. Yeah. So when we're talking about the conscious mind and what we bring into it, it's got to be like a gauge. You've got to be like the watchman, not let no nonsense into your mind. I want to give you an example. A quick example, because I know Jammers wants to come in. I remember, and you may believe it, you don't have to believe it, this is the facts. I remember about 2007, Dougie remembers, I used to go to America a lot, doing music over there. 2006 it was maybe, Dougie, and I was going to America. 2 weeks before I was going to America, Heathrow was on lockdown, Dougie. I'd booked my flights. Heathrow was on lockdown. I was so affirmed with the power of the mind. I said, I don't care what you're showing me. I'm seeing myself just breezing through. I said that to myself, I'm going to be breezing through Heathrow. I don't care what anybody says. I just kept that in my mind. Anytime a negative idea saying, you know, because every day I'm looking at the news, you know, Dougie. Every day Heathrow's getting worse, you know, Dougie. I said, I don't care what it says. I'm going to stay affirmed that I'm going to breeze through. A week, still the same, Dougie. 3 days before, it's still the same. I woke up the day I'm going to America. It's worse than ever. I said, oh, right. But I didn't want that 2 week period allow any form of belief, Dougie, to say I'm not going to make it, or I'm going to believe what they're showing me. So I said, I'm going to I don't care. I'm keeping in my mind that I'm going to just breeze through this thing. I'm affirmed. I don't care what anybody says. So when I got there was queues, Dougie. But guess what? When I'm going through, it was empty. Everywhere else was massive queues. When I'm going through, it's empty. The joke, Dougie, the first time and the only time it's ever happened, a man comes up to me, goes, can I help you? Here's a quick way you can just go through one time. Self-service, just go through. I said, oh my goodness. And I couldn't do it. And then he goes, in fact, just go through. I'll put your bags through. Just go through. I went, rah. It worked out better than I didn't have to wait for nothing, Dougie. I was on the plane like this, drinking me nickel. So, believe me, don't believe me, that's what happened. I have the power of the mind is a reality, but you've got to have confidence in it. You've got to have confidence in yourself, confidence in your ability to manifest what you want. I don't care what anybody says, that's real, man.
Yeah, and I'd just like to bounce off both of you, and I just want to tell you something that's even bigger than confidence. This is the key element.
Bigger than confidence.
Bigger than. I've got a big up Sell Me. Check out Sell Me every Tuesday, 8 till 10. He and Pastor every Tuesday. Check him out, and he deals with this on a weekly basis. But yeah, the key element, what we're saying throughout the whole show, is your identity. That is the key element of the whole of who you are. You need to know your identity. And your identity, I'll put it how Simon was saying, is basically consciousness is your identity. You are the creator in a smaller portion. You are a micro of the major. So basically, you have that creative genius in you. This is your identity. And for the Christian brothers, if you say it's your father, then you must be the son or daughter. So that means you're the same. You know, that means if you're calling a carrot, then you must be a carrot. So if you're calling your father the creator, then you are also the creator. You're also semi. You know, that's your nature. So basically, you have the power to have creative consciousness. Your consciousness is part of the whole. It doesn't come from outside or somewhere else or somebody else to give you the. You are wired into the consciousness, the high conscious level, and that's what you have. Your power is the power of creative consciousness. So basically, anything that you want to happen, you bring it from inside yourself. You've been taught a lie that consciousness is outside of yourself. But everything that happens to you is you've generated the emotion, you've generated the feeling, you know, you've done the action to make it a reality. But what's happened is they've given you the things to make a reality. So they give you slavery. So then you get traumatized and bring it back and you can't get past it, because what we were saying again, remember, anything that you think about like a magnet, you're like your electromagnet. So anything you think about, you bring it into into existence. So they don't show you the 4,000 years when you ruled the planet and you gave civilization to the rest of the planet. They show you the 400 years of trauma, so then you can be re-traumatized, and then they keep bringing it up in the history lessons and in the films. So we re-traumatize, and so the number to call if you like to call. The number to call if you like to call is 079 444 31366. Once again, 079 444 31366. Once again, the number to call, I think Salmi's trying to call through, is 079 444 31366.
But you know what you were saying? Oh, sorry, you want to say
No,
something?
go on.
Yeah, what you were saying about we have the creative consciousness, which is obviously something that we've defended from day one. There's a saying, we are not the same in quantity as the divine, but the same in quality. And if you look at the Igbo way of saying God, if you like, what the Europeans will call God, chi is energy or spirit, and qua means great spirit. It's just that mine and yours, Dougie, like we have to say I and I, my spirit and your spirit, Jamma's spirit, the energy in the chair, the energy, is chi. It's not a thing over there that you pray to and hope. We're part of everything, so whatever we generate from within and manifest without, it affects the world, man. It's like the ripple effect, Dougie. So to me, I love what Jamma's saying. That's absolutely right. In Rasta, we've always said that you've got to look within yourself. One of the old sayings I remember when I was first getting into it, you've got to know yourself, youth. Knowledge of self is the key. You've got to know yourself. Look within. You don't have to look outside. That we're killing that concept. We're destroying that external concept. You know, some people may identify with Selassie, but Haile Selassie is just a reflection of the king within you. Yeah. The great African king within you.
Yeah. But just to ride on to what Gemma was saying, and also what Rasmid is saying, that when we talk about the consciousness and we're talking about the universe, right? It's all one.
Absolutely, Dougie.
All one.
Look at even universe. Means one song or one verse.
Say that again. That's
universe. Uni is una in French. Una is one. Verse means song. One sound.
So what you're saying is unicycle is one wheel. Uniform is one suit. So universe
uniform means to do things, everything in the
same
order,
way. In the same way. So basically, universe means to turn. So it turns in one way.
Right.
So it's a one turning.
So what you've said is absolutely right. Carry on, Dougie, man. Go
No,
on,
no,
talk
just
about
want
what
to,
you said
I just want to say that we're talking about we're all one, so we're part of the universe. You know, you can't divorce it. We're all one. You see what I'm saying?
There's no separation. And I ask people, when people say, "Oh God, God," I said, "Well, which part of us is not part of the universe?"
Right. Okay, we got someone on. I don't know if you've got on the line there. I won't put on line because it might not be somebody. You know. So
yeah.
Ready?
Go on, bro.
Right,
Go on,
so I got distracted there. Once again, big up Simon has been listening. I'm going to give you another thing in relation. Sorry, Dougie, could you're making a bit too much sound. Right, I want to give you one more thing on habit creation. How they create habits in you. First thing I want you to remember is the word read. Yeah, read. Inside the word read is the word re, which means backwards. They don't tell you that. Yeah. So inside the word read is back, to look back, and add means to move. So inside the word read, it means to move back. So basically, advance, admires when you move somewhere. You're moving towards something. So re means. So what it is, the people that are creating this external universe for us to participate in, move in an opposite way to us. So everything that they do, we're really supposed to do the opposite. If they tell you to move left, you're supposed to move right. If they tell you to move up, you're supposed to do down, because what they're doing is what works to them. Because in there, basically, if the sun hits them, their skin burns, ours moves towards it. So they have to do things in relation to their nature. Their nature is opposite to us. So basically, when they're doing their religious practices, it's because of what they feel they need to do to get back in sync with nature. It's not what for us to follow. So now, in relation to habit creation, I just want to show you how they create a magic habit in your mind. Basically, to create a habit in somebody's mind, you give them a question. That's what they do from birth. When you're a child, the first thing that they do when they take you to the you're not even sick, but they take you to a nursery school to bring a doctor in. It's not a doctor. Doctor means teach. It's really doctorings. So when you go to see any doctor this and doctor that and doctor this, they're giving you a doctoring, because doctrine means to teach. So basically, they're going to give you first thing they do is give you a question. If you look at the word question, is how you create a habit in somebody, by asking them a question when you dictate the reward of answering the question. The word question is quest, which means a journey. So first thing, when somebody gives you a question, they're putting your mind on a journey. We mentioned about the sentences, so this is one way to get you in a sentence of your mind. You ask the question, you put in the person's mind in a journey. Look at the word question. You see the next word in the word question is ti, so and then on. So question backwards. Remember I said when you read something, look at it backwards. The last two letters in the word question is on. So on you. The next two letters in the word question is tie, without the e. So on you, they're putting a tie of a journey. So when somebody asks you a question, they're putting a tie of a journey, and then so to make your mind go in the way that they want your mind to go in. So they'll tell you that, I don't know, they'll show you something that, and then they give you the reward. So once you've had a thought, and that thought has given you a reward, a habit is created, because your mind thinks in a way of getting results. So someone will give you a question and then give you a reward for the right answer. So once they've done that, I mean, it could be something that's one thing could be like Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever. They're giving you do you need something for your food? I mean, you're feeling hungry, then they show you the answer to your problem. They put some girl on there, the music, they make the chicken even look like a woman, plus some loud music, a big Ferrari. So they've given you the quest for your mind to follow and show you this is the reward when you get the Coca-Cola, because the Coca-Cola bottle even look like a woman. This is the reward when you watch this film. So basically, they're giving you the reward. And remember, your mind moves in a thought process that gives you a reward. Inside the word reward is the word ward. Ward is a place of care. So basically, ward is a place of care, and then re means to go back into a place of care. So basically, you're going back in a place where they're looking after you, where you'll never be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Inside the word ward is the word war again. You know, so basically, this is how you create a habit, because a habit is when you do something and you get. So this is how they create, like taking a wild dog and making it a tame dog. They supply the food chain. So then the dog no longer wants to go, loses its hunting skills, and starts to have the food that the master gives it. They reward the dog to sit. When the master tells the dog to sit, the dog will get a reward. So now the dog no longer wants to act independently and sit and stand when it wants to stand. It will sit and stand when the master says to get the reward. So this is how they take a wild animal and domesticate the animal. Oh. Minty?
Okay, yeah, so in a sense, it's like conditioning, it's like hypnosis, what you're talking about, Bridget, and that's the same, in a sense, it's the same, well,
Hello,
say in a sense,
Hello,
but it's the same way that they deal with society, people in society. We condition people to believe in the education system, believe Henry VIII was great, believe Winston Churchill was great, believe in God, because, I don't know about you, Dougie, because I know you're just a tad, a month or two older than me, but when I was younger, they taught us the Lord's Prayer, Dougie. I still remember it, Dougie, and this is like over.
Yeah.
I still remember. I can just say it off now. Most of the Lord's Prayer, all of us together would be able to say it. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. The power, go on.
I can't remember
the power and the glory
forever and ever. Amen.
Now
I can't believe you two done that on my show.
The point I was making is that. This is the conditioning that you were talking about, bro. I'm just emphasising that we stopped doing that when I was like 11.
Well, you see, this is how they weaken your mind. That's why they say nursery school, because they're schooling your mind to be weak. A child, they're already putting this. Right, let me just break this down. Basically, they use everybody. When you're at a young age, you're always taught. They always teach. It's called you get taught in school. Taught means tautology. It's the science of tautology. It's the science of giving you a weak mind. Basically, how do you give somebody a weak mind is when this is how they do it. They keep saying the same thing over and over again, not telling you how it's done. But once you hear it over and over again, it's right. It starts to sound. So tautology is when say things enough and until the person believes it's right without having no knowledge or wisdom of how it has been broken down. So this, there's knowledge of wisdom of how it's been broken down. So the politicians will do it. They will keep telling you, yes we can, not know how or why or if or but. So this is the science that they give you, that they keep telling you the thing over and over again with a nursery crime. So basically, as Minty just displayed there, when you keep saying things over and over again, it sticks into your head, just like a hit song. You don't even like the song, but they give you the hook line and the chorus, and all of a sudden you're mumbling that song, and then you even move it, you even know the dance moves that in the song without even wanting to. This is the way that they program your mind. It's a science and a skill that they use to make your mind weak, and it's a conditioning of your mind to stop you from being, as we're saying, in a position where you want to control your food supply, when you want to make your own clothes, where you want to give the education to your child that you think your child deserves. And now we are victims of, this is why we're seeing the crimes on the street, because now we've handed over our children to the person who's committed the most crimes on the planet, thinking that they're going to bring back our children as constructive and optimizing their talent and their well-being.
But just to not round it up, but just to add on to what has been said, and I think the conclusion to this is that we've got to fill our minds with positive word sound. That's the essence right there. When I was growing up as a young youth in Rasta, there was positive word sound. Know thyself, love thyself, roots and culture. The greatest thing is life and experience, man. All these positive words sound that are aids you. Love the life you live and live the life you love. That are guidance. My mum gave me positive word sound. She used to say, things like it happens for a reason, it's a blessing in disguise. These are positive resources to draw on when things are getting difficult for you. So if something's happening which you don't like, you say, this is a blessing in disguise. It's happening for a reason. What can I get out of this situation? How can I benefit? So it's really about inputting positive mind sound, word sound into your mind.
And what that was a practice of called they call it proverbs. A verb is how you move to something. Sit, jump. It's an instruction. Pro means it puts in front of you how you're supposed to move. Sit down, jump. What they do, they give you nouns. Noun is just a calling. You're just calling something. A noun means to call something. It doesn't give you a proper instruction. So announce is when you're calling something. Pronounce is how you pronounce a word. Renounce is when you call back something. So a noun comes from the word call. It just means to call something without giving you a proper instruction. So basically, someone will say that a noun, an example of a noun which is just a calling is the word alcoholic. The word alcoholic doesn't give you any instructions what to do. A verb means you drink too much. If you know you drink too much, then you can drink less. So a verb gives you a solution to the problem, where the noun alcoholic gives you no way out. The same as the word shy gives you no way out. Same with the word lack of confidence. Confidence is an abstract word. It doesn't really tell you what you need to do to become more confident. So all of these nouns that they programmed into the language system is keeping you in a trap where it's not giving you instruction, like as Minty was saying in our ancient time, where we used to use proverbs, where we used to give instructions, and where we used to create scenarios of what to do when a situation came up into existence.
And that, what you said is absolutely right. I would love it, Brethren, and that's why just going back, we have to keep guard on our mind, Brethren. We have to ensure that what we're putting into our mind is something positive and something constructive. Again, the mind's so powerful. When you determine to do something, you focus, visualize, positive aim, positive intention, you can achieve this thing, you know what I mean? Your mind works best when it's focused on something. Your mind will work best when you just say, let me put a laser beam on this. This is a perfect way to think about it. I'm putting a laser beam on this thing. I don't care what anybody says or anything that happens. I'm gonna get this thing. That's the laser beam. Regardless of what happens to you, as much as the world shows you, you're not gonna get it. That laser beam gets you to that goal. So this is how we've got to use our mind. We've got to focus our minds positively as much as possible on the thing we want to talk. This sister said something very important. It's not something we talk about, and it's not something I think that the massive people talk about. Quantum physics. Now I know you might know about it, Jammers, quantum physics, but one of the elements of quantum physics is this. It's about we've got atoms and we've got subatomic particles. The rules which are subatomic are not the same as the rules which are larger than atomic. So in the subatomic world, what happens is this. What happens is this. What the rule is that you can, whatever you think exists. That's as simple as that, you know. It's like they have these little waves, if you like, and what they're only observable, bro. They're only observable, these waves, these sound particles, wave particles. When you think about them, this is what quantum physics talks about. So you're thinking things into being. So when you think about it, it exists. When you stop thinking about it, it doesn't exist. This is what quantum physics is. One of the elements, I should say, of quantum. There's many parts of it, but this is one of the elements of quantum physics, that you think things into existence, man.
And I'd just like to add to that, what they say is new, we already knew, because the Medu is quantum physics, an advanced level of quantum physics. Let me explain. The mouth in the Medu is the sign of the sun. The mouth does everything that the sun does. That's your operating system. The mouth creates heat, like the sun creates heat. The mouth can create water, like the sun creates water. The mouth can create wind, like the mouth can create wind. Just sun can create wind, yeah. when your mother calls you. The mouth can create earth, because you can say something and then it manifests into reality. In quantum physics, the light waves, light particles transfer in a wave. The letter N in the Medu Necha is in a wave form. It's the first. It's the sign of energy, basically. So basically, the energy. If you look at most of the words in the Medu Necha, and you transpose them onto the English language, you'll see that it's actual quantum physics taking place before your very eyes. You know. So even if you look at and then they reverse it to confuse you, because Niger, the old word for Niger, they say it's darkness. It's in the word Nigeria. It's in the word night. It indicates darkness for them. But when you break down the Medu Necha and you see the letter N is actually a light wave, because a light particle travels in a wave. So basically, it's the signal. It's actually the symbol for light. And if you give out energy, you're not creating darkness. You're creating light form. So basically, we are beings of a light form, and when you break down the labels that they've given you, they're putting a reverse label on you by saying Niger is darkness. But when you break down the symbols of the Medu Necha, you'll see that the N relates to light particle waves, the I relates to the reed. The reed is a symbol of who you are, the number one, the I in relation to your surroundings, and the G relates to the pot. The pot means that you hold, or pottery is when you carry something. So basically, you create night. Okay, that's me out of here.
Okay, got someone on the live link here. Is it Shay?
Shay Godfrey.
Sorry, Shay.
Yeah, like Chay, C-H-A-Y, yeah? That's my name.
And I know that your company's called The Healing Way, yeah?
That's it, that's us.
Okay, then. I want you to give a breakdown about your company and what you're about and the products you do, if you don't mind, please.
Okay, yeah, no, of course, man, welcome, blessings. Yes, we give thanks and praise to His Majesty first and foremost. Rastafari. Yes, sir. So basically, I've been studying plant medicines, nutrition, naturopathic nutrition for maybe just a couple of years. My dad got diagnosed with stage 5 bowel cancer, and he was given sadly 9 months to live. I said, don't worry about that, we'll sort that out. I did a bit of research, spoke to a couple of my brothers, and we put him on a protocol. A protocol of like raw vegan organic food for a certain amount of time in the day. You have to drink a certain amount of filtered water, going right down to all of the vitamins in the body, A right up to K vitamin. See, we put them on a strict food diet. Also using certain supplements that come from like tree bark, like selenium, all of the electrolytes that come from like our ancient roots, going back to like our ancestral medicines. I'm really into like plant medicine. Anyway, going forward, my dad was on this treatment for 3 weeks. You bear in mind, this is stage 5 heavy bowel cancer called, I think it's called anastomosis. They said, look, there's nothing we can do. We just try the chemo, this and that. It's going to spread through the body. Within 3 weeks of being on this protocol, using certain plant medicines and cannabis oil, THC and CBD, he went down from stage 5 to stage 1 in 3 weeks. And then from after that, another 3 weeks later, he was all clear. 6 weeks, he was like...
Hold on. Sorry, Shay. So he was clear from the bowel cancer within 6 weeks?
Totally clear from stage 5 to stage 3, 1 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks later, from 6 weeks from being diagnosed, he was all clear. And he's still all clear now. He's like living a healthy life. You know, so this was down to certain lifestyle change. He had to like stop working so hard. Everything was like a build-up in the body. You see, when you have certain harsh illnesses like cancers and Alzheimer's, it means 50% of your body cells are toxic.
Yeah.
So what we try and say, what we need to do is reprogram the body and the DNA in the body.
Yeah.
It can be done through like alkalizing the blood. You know, loads of different protocols, but it can be done, and also it can be done so quick. It's unreal. Like you can reprogram your entire DNA structure within 6 weeks.
Okay.
Providing you follow like life protocols. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to just take a step by step, because to me this is like a a miracle, so to speak. No, I know it's a miracle, right? But this is just amazing because one of the things, because as we the last few weeks we've been talking about prostate cancer, diabetes, bowel cancer, and one of the things is that, I mean, Russ Mint is here with me, but every week you guarantee that talk about people in their 40s, 50s are dropping out with what? With cancer. Every single week. In fact, I'm going to a funeral a little bit later on.
Man.
And every week there's suffering, and if only, it's like, say, well, when people got cancer now, we get depressed because you just know it's a matter of time before they just drop off. But what we're saying here, and what you're saying, that, I mean, it's not the end. You can reverse it by your lifestyle and your diet.
Man, it can be reversed within weeks. Like, you just need to just focus, because you need to eliminate everything out of your body that might be causing this disease. We just say a disease. It's just a disease in the DNA. It's all it is. It's just cells are toxic. Your immune system's down. Certain lights in your neuropathic path are like not lit up. It's like it can be a number of things, but it can be just reversed, easy as that. And I know it because there's certain things helping my dad. Sitting down with my teacher and saying, look, this is the protocol that we found works best with this illness and this illness and this illness. So it's like subtle changes, but not really that much. It's just like 30 days. If within 30 days you'll see the difference within most cases, providing you stick to it. See, it doesn't always work, because the mindset of some people, bro, is like, oh, we just give up. We just rather just become.
No. It's true. It's true. In fact, it's not so much the disease what kills you. I mean, yeah, it's the mind as well. Because once you said that you've got cancer, right? Your body's already automatically shut down.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. They would say that, yeah, it's just like doing the mind. But just bring us back. I mean, what do you do on the first day when what do you do if a dad? What are you feeding with? Just bring us.
Right, so we start with our food, with our raw food. So my dad was just eating loads of meat. I say, look, you got to go raw vegan. So you got to work out.
Right.
All right. So for a certain time you have to go. We call it raw till 4, yeah, which means like no food until 4 o'clock. But throughout the day you need to be drinking 4 liters of pure water, like preferably filtered, like distilled or alkaline water. You can get certain nice brands of water in the supermarkets, like Highland Springs, quite a nice one.
Yeah.
I travel to Buxton. I see where the water's put out there. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So it's like 4 litres of water, between 2 and 4 litres of fresh juice. Right, and then within the juice, we're looking at all of our prebiotics and our probiotics within the gut wall, yeah? So you start with, like, garlic, your apple cider vinegar. You can do some bicarbonate of soda, lemon treatment. This is what we did with my dad, yeah?
Right.
So he woke up, he's got his, he needs to line out his gut wall. So we say a little bit of bicarbonate of soda in some water with some lemon, down that. And then you've got another little concoction, which is like apple cider vinegar, your garlic, some ginger, some cinnamon. And then we down that, and that's like another little shot glass. That's your 2 shot glasses in the morning to sort your stomach out. After that, you're drinking pints of water throughout the day. Also, the juicing up all your juice. You need to juice and blend all of your food, and like literally, because half of your body's energy is also taken up from processing the food.
Yeah.
You need to cut out all processed foods, all processed sugars, anything that feeds cancer. Like, you don't want it. Like, Alzheimer's, sugar, too much sugar, you're going to get sick, you're going to start losing memory. Sugar's like the worst thing. I've been more vegan now for 9 years, man. I get my blood tested every 3 months because I just want to stay on top of myself. And I'm like, everything's 100%, all the markers are up. I'm not deficient in any vitamins ever. Always checking myself for, like, certain vitamins that I feel I need. It's a lot of re-education, but it's just... And it's not cheap, to go on this protocol. Like, the main thing is to alkalise your blood, detox your system, use the cannabis oil, so CBD. You need a really high-grade CBD oil, and then we use a THC and CBD oil mix, which is coming from certain potent strains. We've cross-pollinated certain plants, like, within the circles.
Let me ask a question, because I'm a bit what's that? Bit what's the word? A bit naive here. But we was cannabis oil. What we talking about? We're talking about the boil the cannabis oil to drink, or what we talking about?
No, so what it is, it's done through an extraction method, like a water extraction method. Yeah. So we use two different types of THC and CBD. We use the hemp strain, which is like a Lando strain, which is grown out somewhere in Romania or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And when we use also certain other chemical strains of like cannabis, marijuana weed. Yeah, because that's like THC, and then you got your CBD mix, right? We use certain strains that carry like high potency THC, and through the method of water extraction, you keep most of the cannabinoids like as rather as to like. There's some techniques that are for certain different things, but the techniques we use, like within our circle, is what we've tried and tested, and it seems to be helping a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, so, but what we do I'm just wondering, we do the kind of the oil. Do you drink it? Put it on your skin? What do you do?
Well, see, it comes in like you can come. It's oral, so you can.
I see what you're saying.
Suppository. Some people prefer suppository, so we just put it in capsules, and they just do their thing.
I see what you're saying. No. So it's like capsule, like a tablet, no form. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
okay. Then.
It comes in syringes. Like, or we just measure it out. So you want to be working up to like a milliliter a day of CBD and a milliliter a day of THC. Some people just use THC, and certain protocols. You like apricot kernels mixed with like bromelain or pineapple.
I hear about that
really
one there. Yeah, it's very powerful. That one. Yeah.
See what people are doing as well is like they're just buying the THC stuff online, but. And a lot of people are researching, but you need certain carriers with it that take it straight to the liver through the blood-brain barrier, right? So we use like coconut oil, not cooked, just raw coconut oil, and you know frankincense and myrrh is really, really good for getting it into the blood system.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's some coincidence with gold, frankincense, and myrrh being in the Bible. Frankincense and myrrh is actually really powerful medicine for us as well, mixed with the cannabis oil. It's like. Things working like lock and key, you know, like the receptors in the brain, like bind them to the electrons, which then carry the proteins.
Well, you see, I'm really glad that you're able to join us on the call here, because earlier on we had a friend of mine, very close, good friend of ours, named Lyndon, and he was talking about diabetes. In fact, he had diabetes, literally had diabetes, and it's only when, you know, he said to himself, when he had diabetes, he didn't know what diabetes was, right?
Yeah.
And what he done, he literally said to himself, what was the food what put him in the mess in the first place? Stopped taking that, and he started doing some exercise, just simple things, cut out all the carbs and the sugar and all that stuff there, and started fasting, exercising, and eating a lot more fruits and veg and all that stuff there. And amazing, within 30 days. He was able to reverse and result that.
You can reverse it.
Yeah, and he's written a book on that. He said that at first, again, he was naive still because he just wrote a book. He knew he had to write a book, right? And like now, he's become one of the one of the spokesperson talking about diabetes, and he's become my close friend. You know, so the argument I'm trying to say here is that I mean, we don't have to die in ignorance because we can reverse these health challenges.
We can heal anything, man. Like, we can literally heal anything. It's worth learning. I'll tell you what, because the best thing we can ever do as well is to, like, detox the body and just look after ourselves.
Yeah.
It is actually the best thing you can do. It's not even hard. Are you going to keep buying some takeaway food and some food, like, just processed rubbish, you don't know what's in it? Man, you know, I work with kids as well, growing food. We teach young kids how to grow food. Like, we've got some allotments, and kids are refugees coming over from, like, Bosnia and stuff. We work with loads of different groups like that. And adults with learning difficulties are really passionate about growing food. We do loads of like cookery workshops and stuff about all this health and nutrition. I've actually got a lovely day coming up soon, but I'll talk to you tomorrow about that more, because I think I'm coming in tomorrow to do like a more in-depth interview.
Sorry, Shay. I've got other presenter with me who's hosting the show with me. He's listening to you quite keen and he's eager to jump in and ask you a question. Russ Minty.
Yes, greetings, Shane.
Bless, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your input, because it's, you know, health is the key. If you don't have your health, you've got nothing. You haven't got your mental or physical health, you're finished, basically. So,
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned about detox and brethren, which is very important. Could you tell us some of the ways that you detox? What methods you use to detox your body and your mind, even if that comes into it? Thank you, bro.
Okay, sure. So if you go and just for like, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, go on, bro. We can hear you, man.
Alright, sweet. So if you're going just for like a normal, everyday detox, you want to just get on with your life. You're not ill, but you just want to like cleanse your body. Yeah, the first thing you do is just fast out for 1 day. Just fast out. Like, don't have anything at all. Now, this is my method. What I use over like a week's course of detoxing. I mean, I can't detox much more because it's just like I'm pretty clean anyway. But if it's just like a normal person, just fast as much as you can. But on the fasting, we say that you need to rest as well. So do it on a day where you're just not going to be doing much. Yeah, just let your body just rest out. Drink 1 litre to 1.5 litres of water.
Okay, can I just ask you quickly, bro? I wanted you to continue. When you say you fast, you mean like say from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock the next morning?
24 hours, like a good fast. Yeah, if you can not have any food or like drink other than water for 24 hours.
Oh, so you can drink water though.
Yeah, we say you drink water. You probably gonna start. The first time I did it, you have like come across with a massive headache. It's just all it is just the toxins releasing from your body. Yeah, so just rest out, fast, and for the next few days, like just have some lemon in the morning. You know, have your normal breakfast, but don't have anything. Just try and stay off of all the processed stuff. You know what I mean? You don't have to go and spend loads of money in the shops buying all supplements, detox this and detox that. You can just have a little bit of like Himalayan rock salt. Really, you just want to cleanse out your liver and your kidneys, yeah? That's what we're trying to do when we're detoxing. It's like, that's where our food's coming from. So that's where our food's all being processed. We just want to cleanse out the liver and the kidneys. Bicarbonate of soda, apple cider vinegar, definitely in the morning. Just go about your day, have a light lunch. Because most people, what they're going to do, they're going to fast, but they're going to start to lose energy. Yeah, because like your body's burning up all of the old stuff. So if you need to work, then you know I'm not a doctor. I can't really say to you like don't eat food because then people might get sick. But there's many methods you can use for detoxing, man. You know, detoxing is very important, and especially if you're gonna like if you are ill, if there's someone that is ill, I say right, like cut out all processed food. This is a more extreme side. I like to work with. I am working with a lot of people with sort of heavy cancers now, like really bad autoimmune disease like MS, ME as well. It's like, so we say to them, look, you've got to cut out all of coffee, don't have anything that's like diuretic, you know, cut out tea, caffeine. You need to just literally cleanse your whole system with water, fresh fruit juices, the spirulina, the chlorellas, all you like your blue-green algae, anything that carries like folic acid is good for detoxing, you know, green leafy vegetables, all of that sort of stuff. Blend it up, don't just make like a juice vat throughout the day and use that as a detox and just have your light meal in the evening, you know.
Shane, so can I ask you, you say you can juice vegetables as well?
Yeah, juice everything. Juice and blend up all of your fruits and veg. And you can make them like really tasty, you know.
But you know, when you say a light meal, you talk about something like salad.
Well, I mean, maybe some pasta with some salad at night time. You know, if you've done that throughout the day, no food throughout the day, and you've just done your juicing and you're fasting, then you know you're going to want to have a light meal in the evening. Some rice, you know. If you're a meat eater, you know, whatever. I don't eat meat. I'm a vegan. So, you know, for me, it's just like nuts and grains and pulses and rices. I'm always full of energy. It's the best thing I ever did, man, you know?
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you totally, bro. I think that, for the most part, I don't eat meat. I eat fish. On occasion, chicken. Very rarely.
Yeah.
You know, that was from really started eating that because I was ill for a time. So it was just part of the recovery. One of the things he recommended, I should say, chicken soup. But for the most part, I eat vegetables, small fish, leaving less chicken very rarely, man. So
you know, a lot. So like, if you can ferment your food, you know, like fermented food is really good for our,
like
for our gut bacteria.
Sauerkraut.
Yeah, all that sort of thing.
Probiotics.
You know,
like, yeah.
You need it for your pre and your probiotics. You need to be sorting your gut wall out because you know even like everything in our body, everything we put inside of our body affects the way we are on an energetic level. Whether it be like, so if you're putting poison into your body, what's going to happen 10 years later? Then you're just going to get sick. and it's going to make you depressed, and it even affects the way we behave. Like what we eat goes right down to our behaviour, but it's all to do with the gut bacteria. And like your pre and your probiotics. Make sure in the morning you don't just get up and have some coffee. Make sure you drink some water before you have your coffee. A lot of people make that mistake. They just get up and they think that coffee is going to make them right, but coffee actually restricts the blood flow to the brain by 40% every cup you have. And it's the worst thing you can do in the morning is get up and have a coffee to try and get you started. It's just it doesn't work. The body needs to wake up and have water. Definitely.
But Shay, I just want to jump in there because and I'm really glad you're able to, again, as I said, to inform us that kind of lead in neatly, because I would say that the masses of people that are being miseducated, right? And that's the reason why we're sick. I mean, in fact, Lyndon was explaining to me today that in the paper, in one of the newspapers, I think the Daily Mail or whatever, he sent me on WhatsApp. I'm gonna have a look at it. That in the front page, that this talking about the whole thing about diabetes. Yeah, it's head on now. You know what I mean? He said that kids of age of is it 9 or 10 now? Yeah. 9 or 10. I've got diabetes. Yeah.
It's not coming around by chance, man. It's just the system set up in a way where it's keeping the people sick in order for them to pump us with pharmaceuticals. It might sound conspiratorial, man, but it just the evidence is there. We know how to heal our bodies. They know that hemp plant and the cultivation of hemp would have sent too much medicine. That's why they prohibited it. Yeah. That's why they took the hemp plant off the market. It makes food, it makes clothes, it makes rope. It makes everything hemp, and we're only just coming to find out that now. And God bless the internet, because this knowledge is being shared everywhere. And I'll fight for the people, and I'll share this knowledge for the rest of my life.
Well, see, the crazy thing about this, though, that again we have to be conscious of what we're doing, because once they know that we have individuals start helping people with cancer, they start coming down on you. Yeah. So it is, isn't it? It's just so we have to be really.
But you know what Bob Marley said? The late great Bob Marley, man. He said, "I'd rather fight one day fighting for free. I'd rather die one day fighting for freedom than to live my whole life in a prison cell, man." Let them come, man. Let them come. I'm not worried.
Well, it's funny because you were talking about today, Dougie, that coconut oil is poison.
Well, it is I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go by that. Coconut oil is actually a really good carrier for CBD. It works well in the CB1 receptor, carries it through the immune system. So, and if you're cooking it, anything comes carcinogenic. But that might be just some fake news. Dr. Zebi's like a legend, man, and he swore by coconut oil and avocado oil. He's like one of the key figures for alkalizing your blood, curing cancer, curing AIDS and HIV, and he was proven with that. So I don't think that someone can come out and say that coconut oil is pure poison. It might be, but I don't think that's been proven yet. No,
I don't think coconut oil is poison, because
I don't think so. It might be if you cook it.
Well, what it is, bro, everything in nature serves a purpose, basically, and it's not a purpose to kill you. It's a purpose to serve you. Even poison ivy, when it's mixed with other substances, can cure illnesses. So It's. I think, for my thoughts, they want to come down on the natural healing, what you're talking about, bro, because they know that everything that they've got, all the medicines they have, are really from natural sources anyway. True. And they don't want you to know what those natural sources are. And the essence is an African saying, which we know very well, Dougie, let your medicine be your food, and let your food be your medicine. And this is what you're saying, essentially, my brother.
Yeah.
Go on, bro. Go on.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Everything that's all the medicines that I have, some of them are really good, right? So we won't take that away from them, but most of them are acidic, and they become toxic through the breakdown of when you break down a plant and you're taking it from alkaline, you mix it with other stuff, it becomes acidic. What we don't want is to have acidic things in our body. So all these stuff that they're selling over the market, over or antibiotics. It's all acidic. It all calcifies our blood system.
Well, the thing is though, bro, we've got to have some acid. It's a balance in it, but more alkaline than acid.
Yeah, but only the good acid. Like we want.
Of course. I'm talking about.
We don't want the pharmaceutical acid, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about even in foods like the pastas and they're more acidic than they are alkaline. So.
No, of course, you know, like
pasta, spelled pasta.
Try and stay off the pastas as well, man. We try and stay out of the wheat as well because wheat just causes high cholesterol. You know.
No, but bro, what I'm saying is that spelt, for example, not brown like whole wheat pasta. I'm talking about spelt pasta. That's okay. It's still acidic, but if you have that with spinach and cucumber, do you understand what I'm saying, Brethren?
Yeah,
and you're balancing out the acid and the alkaline, so you've got to give yourself some acid and some alkaline food there as well.
Yeah, but when you
go on.
When you're trying to cure like cancers, you don't really want to. You got
to minimalise the acid. Absolutely.
You don't want to put any acid in your body if you can help it. You know, only like
just pure alkaline.
Acid. No, you need to alkalise your body as quick as you can. You know.
Sure.
So,
sorry, brother. Go on, bro.
Go on, man. No, I'm with you on the spelt. You know, there is certain rices and grains and pulses that we definitely use. You know, try and go with the lentils, the quinoa, all those sorts of things. They're really good for you.
Quinoa is good actually, bro, because that's one of the few.
Yeah, no, quinoa's really good, man.
It's alkaline.
Quinoa has omega-3, 6 and 9. You know, it's got amino acids to break down the proteins. I'm pro quinoa. Quinoa's really good for us, man.
And another thing they recommend, which is alkaline, brethren, is sweet potato is one of the few carbs that is alkaline.
Yeah. Sweet potato's really good.
Yeah, they mention that, on the tape.
You know, so sweet potato, quinoa. If you want to just get back on the alkaline, those are the two things you eat regularly. And what I do, one of the best juices, I like my vegetable juice, carrots, cucumber, celery, and any green, whether it's kale, cabbage, spinach.
Yeah.
Have that every day. Your body will be alkalized in no time, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. We can get all of this stuff from our foods, all of the vitamins, right from A to K, you know, from our foods. And if you're still low on stuff, like there's some really good supplements that we use from like health stores. And there's a good company called Solgar. We use like a D3 vitamin, but it's got to be derived from like sheep's wool. Lanolin it's called, because it holds like 3,000 to 5,000 IUs, and it's absorbed like through the body.
Right.
It's a really good vitamin, you know, like to get into as an immune booster, like vitamin D3 is a good one. But it has to come from mushrooms or lanolin, which is a sheep's wool, funnily enough.
Okay.
But it's absorbed through the body really well. There's like liposomal vitamin C that we use. It's called nutrient C. That's 100% fat soluble in the body. It goes straight again to the liver. You know, 'cause if you're taking the tablets and that, like your body don't absorb that much. You know, like turmeric, cinnamon, they're all like fat soluble vitamin C, and they go like. They're really good for the body, man. You know, like all of these old Nan's cooking and stuff. You know, like they put all those spices in them. You know, they tell you back then. We've come into an age of like just processed everything. Where's all the stuff on? You know, we've got millions of vegetables out there that you can go to the supermarket and only see 10. You know what I mean? But there's shops and there's places now where we can source all this stuff if we just rise up. And the more people that come to this way of thinking and natural medicine, the more shops will open and all these supermarkets and processed food will close down eventually. You know, that's the hope.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay then. All right then. So listen, Shay, what we're gonna do now? We're gonna put the pin in it right now because you've really given some food for thought. Yeah. You know, you really got us on a little buzz
right,
now.
That's good. That's wicked, man. I'll talk more in depth about the nutrition and the health of certain foods as well tomorrow. You know, like we'll go into certain
okay,
foods and stuff.
But I'll probably give you a call sometime tomorrow during the daytime. Yes, just to let you know exactly what we're about because we're very conscious now. We're very serious about putting these health seminars and focus around prostate cancer, diabetes, bowel cancer, and etc.
Health in general, man.
Health in general. That's right. Well, it's only, as I said, it's only one health. It's only just one bad health, you know. So I definitely want to speak to you and see if I can like to get you involved and so forth.
I'm there, man. I'm coming. I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. All right then. So give thanks. Really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate you cheering.
Love to the people out there listening, man. One love, yeah.
Well, everybody's now, you've really geared them up. You're like a motivator, you know what I mean?
Well, that's good. I like it, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, Shane. Thanks a lot. It was excellent, man.
Fantastic.
All right, man. Bless, man. I'll see you tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, no problem,
man.
One love.
God bless.
Okay, God bless. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, then. So, again, we had a great man, Shay, on the... I've been hearing a lot about this individual here, this brother here. And you can see that he's just breaking this down, you know what I mean? The whole thing about the health. And he has cured his dad. His dad was stage 5 cancer. And his dad is now cleared from cancer, you know? And thing. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna have a very short, because I'm gonna slide out very shortly. Very shortly. I'm gonna have a very short break, and then
that was good stuff anyway, Dougie.
Yeah,
that's all
that
I
was
know,
good.
man. It's very important for us to be healthy, because as he said, there's so much crap out there. You've got to have mainly a vegetarian diet, man, for the most part. That's I'd really encourage people to start thinking about that. But some people can't live without the meat, Dougie, so you know that. But
yeah. Okay.
all right.
Then. So.
So I'm going to talk to Dave Murphy now. Dave is in the studio with me. Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health, and apparently that of many others who have followed his lead through a rather unusual manner, by drinking his own urine. Dave Murphy says urine therapy has transformed his health, helped him lose weight, and even got rid of his asthma, and helps him maintain his youthful looks. Well, you do look very young, I suppose. I don't know how old you are, but
Thank you.
How old are you?
54.
54.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon to you, and thank
Hello.
you so much for coming. Where do you even start with this?
When do you start? Well, I started because I went to a festival and somebody was talking about it. And I walked in with my friends with our arms folded, like, tell us about drinking your wee lady. And she gave this talk that made us walk out going, we're going to have to try this. And all of us tried it the next day. And 6 years later, to my knowledge, all 5 of us are still doing it to this day.
What? I can't imagine the kind of speech somebody might have to give that would encourage me to do that.
Give me 15 minutes with you and you'll be doing it tomorrow.
No, you can't. I give 15 minutes with me, you'd be climbing the walls. But I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be cider, yeah. I'd be drinking brandy, yeah. Not what? So did you have any reservation about it?
Well, when I first started, I was as squeamish as anybody else would be. Yeah. I saw the health benefits from the talk. Yeah. I understood how it worked, and
how my body, which is a finely tuned thing, has developed a way of surviving. And what it does is I put food in, and it gets rid of waste. Part of that waste is urine. How is it that putting that back into my body is a good thing?
Because that's an erroneous interpretation. What happens is your blood goes to your liver screens out all the waste, all the viruses, toxins, whatever shouldn't be in the blood gets taken out by the liver. The purified blood goes to your kidneys, which are there to keep your blood in balance. So it siphons off all the excess of all the good stuff that's been carried along by your bloodstream. So the excess water, the excess minerals, vitamins, hormones, all the good stuff, because having too much of anything in the blood is just as bad as having not enough. So literally your urine is a snapshot of everything your body needs, but just happens to have too much of at that moment. And while it's sitting in your bladder, your body sometimes realizes it needs some of that stuff. So it will reabsorb it from the bladder, which is why some people have this experience where they're dying to go to the loo and they get distracted. And then an hour later, they realize they don't need to go to the loo because, while they were distracted.
But you're talking about biology, man. You're talking about my body and how it's worked and how it's developed over thousands of years. You're not talking about me putting it in a glass and drinking it.
Well, this is when you see how this stuff works. It's amazing. So it's literally a way of getting all the good stuff that you need into the outside of you for outside use. I mean, if you cut yourself, you can try this, Nick. If you cut yourself, no. If you ever cut, no, I don't mean just go out and cut yourself. No. I mean, if you ever get a cut, put the urine on it straight away. Yeah, but immediately it will stop bleeding.
That's because
within a minute it will heal over.
Yeah, well, that's because it works as an antiseptic, doesn't it? It works. It's effective. It takes out the germs. That's how it works. It's not meant to drink it.
Do you know how it works? Well, I've been studying it for the last 8 years. Yeah,
oh, right.
It works. Some of it works because it's got stem cells in it for one thing. The stem cells that literally roam around the body looking for things to repair.
Tell me before I bring in the doctor, who I'm imagining is chomping at the bit to get.
Sure.
Well, that's fine. It's chomping at the bit to get on. Tell me about you then and you now.
Okay, me then. I was nearly 20 stone. I had chronic asthma, so much that I couldn't walk maybe 100 yards without needing to rest. I had back problems, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I had nerve damage inside my foot. I had pain up the back of my leg after an Achilles tendon operation. I couldn't lift my my arm above shoulder.
Why don't you just
height.
change your diet? Eat less. How about that?
I tried all sorts of things.
What, eating less?
Yes.
Eating better food? And that didn't work for you?
Nothing seemed to work. I had a few sort of, minor successes with hydrogen peroxide and a few other little things. But nothing seemed to actually work until I tried urine therapy.
Let's bring in our doctor, shall we? Dr. Sarah Jarvis, London GP and Clinical Director of Patient.co.uk. Good afternoon to you, Sarah.
Good afternoon.
Thanks so much for joining us. I mean, look, it's not the first... I'm doing this, oh my goodness thing, but actually, I remember, was it Hayley Mills? There were lots of people who have been talking about this for quite some time. And once they've done it, are all very passionate about the health benefits. It won't be the first time you've heard this.
Well, if they're not all very passionate about it, the people who are very passionate about it tend to talk about it. But of course, what we know is that there have been no randomised control trials, and certainly no double-blind randomised control trials. I love the way your caller, Dave, said, he thinks that by saying it's an erroneous interpretation, let me use long words and people think it's more scientific. No, it's not, because he used a terribly simple word there, which was that your kidneys your body uses your kidneys to get rid of excess, rid of things that you don't need, that you have too much of. At best, you might get a bit of calcium, you might get a bit of magnesium back into your body, but actually, do you know what? You could do that by using a healthy, balanced diet. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever. And he's going to say that he felt a great deal better. Do you know why? Because he spoke to somebody who was incredibly inspirational and he believed that he was going to feel
But he's lost weight. But he has lost weight.
Yeah, and there is absolutely, even he, and that's saying something, cannot come up with any reason whatsoever why drinking something that is 95% water and contains small amounts of vitamins and minerals should make...
But he doesn't have to, does he? Doctor, he doesn't have to. All he has to do is present better, lighter and healthier than he was before.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't have to, because the point is that my argument to that is he believes that he's going to be better, lighter and healthier than he was before. He feels he has more energy, therefore he does more, therefore he expends more calories, therefore he's going to lose more weight. The whole point about these things, we heard last week a great deal in the media about the nocebo effect. It's absolutely been proven that. People who are taking statins do get muscle pains, but they only get muscle pains if they think they're going to get muscle pains, because the people who were in the double-blind trial who hadn't been told they might get muscle pains didn't get them any more often than the people on placebo. That's the point. He heard somebody very inspirational. She told him, she convinced him that it was going to make him feel better. Therefore, it made him feel better. Once he felt better, he started doing more, he started being more active, and therefore he lost weight. And
there's a lesson for you to learn in those surgeries then, isn't there? Just when people come in, just say, look, and then give them a glass of water. No, I mean, if I follow your argument all the way through, just tell them, here, we've got this magic fluid, which is whatever, water, and give it to them, but give them a lovely story, or play them a tape, give them a DVD, and then they'll be better, won't they?
Well, of course, the tragedy. That's exactly what's happening with things like homeopathy as well, and yet people swear by it. The whole point is that this is the reason that we are scientists. This is the reason that we have drugs. The simple fact of the matter is drinking urine almost certainly is not going to do any harm, except your taste buds, clearly in the long term.
So just to be clear, and I like being clear, it is not something you're going to prescribe.
It is not something any doctor I have ever heard of, or any scientist I have ever heard of, who understands the remotest thing about medicine is ever going to prescribe.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abra. Sarah Jarvis, the London GP and Clinical Director of patient.co.uk. David, I'll give you the last word on this.
Well, first of all, they won't do any clinical trials because they won't do any clinical trials on it, because it will prove that it will help people. So
here's a doctor who has studied for 6 years to gain a qualification, who's dedicated her life to helping, saving and improving the life of others, and you still argue with her that drinking your wee is a good thing.
Yes, because I don't have anything against any doctor, but it's not the doctors themselves, it's what they're being taught. This is wrong. Allopathic medicine is about treating symptoms, not the actual illness. It's like taking your car into a garage when the engine warning light comes on and the mechanic taking the bulb out. The symptom's gone, but the problem's still there. But the thing is, you're not aware of it anymore because the light's not coming on. So the problem gets worse and worse and worse, and something else catastrophic happens later on.
Fascinating talking to you. Look after yourself, and thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it. Dave Murphy there talking about it. That homeopathy one. Oh, she touched a nerve on that one as well, didn't she? BBC Radio London, frequency 94.9. News to come first with the BBC Radio.
Hi team, hi Dan. I just finished watching your 2-hour conversation on YouTube and it was so beautiful. I really, really loved it. I enjoyed a lot watching it, and I got so motivated to make a video response because I've been wanting actually to talk to you, both of you, since a very long time about this topic, and always, letting time go, and I'm very lazy. But finally now here I am, and it's about rejuvenation. It's
okay then, so we're gonna bring this segment to a close now. Again, we had a fantastic show, with some serious people phoning in, and it really was amazing. So Rasmin, I'm going to leave the final word with you.
Sure, give thanks, Dougie. I just thought that it was a great show. We had we are body and we are mind, and we had the sister talking about the mind and the inner energy, and then we had the other brother, two brothers talking about how we can cure the physical ailments. So we take care of our minds, we take care of our bodies, we're going to live happy, long, healthy lives. So I will always encourage you, be at peace. Don't let this world trouble you. Find your sweet spot. If you want to find peace, find out what you love, and that's how your mind will be at peace. Find out what you love. Find out what you love and how you can save others. That's how you'll find peace in your life. And if you want to have a peaceful body, eat well. Don't eat nonsense. Eat as much natural food as you can. Stay away from meat per se. If you're going to eat anything that like most ras, eat some fish. Me go cut out the chicken, man. Definitely. So it'll just be back to fish, and even minimalize that, definitely. So I really encourage you to not eat those things. Just try and eat as much vegetarian, natural foods as possible. They're the best things for you all day long. So on that note, I'm going to wish you well. Stay healthy. Keep the light shining in your mind with positive word sound. Keep on eating healthy. Keep on thinking good. Keep on trying to do good in your community. Love yourself and love your people. Love your family. One perfect harmony. Rastafari.
power is the ability to define someone's reality and have that person accept that definition as if it were their own.
Everything was stripped from us. That's why we're so ignorant today and so baffled and ridiculous and keep going in the same circle.
From executive producer, who has appeared on The Tonight Show, Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and various MTV and VH1 programs.
Our history, for some reason, it becomes offensive to people. So we have to stop being afraid to tell what our true history is.
Best-selling author Tariq Nasheed is determined to uncover the real truth about untold history.
It's necessary to destroy a man's mind in order to maintain control of him. If a man knows who he is and continues that into his legacies, to his children, then you have problems controlling that man.
Interviewing leading scholars and historians, discussing topics omitted from modern history.
Only a people who haven't learned how to respect themselves will let someone suggest themselves that they forget about their history.
Hidden Colors, the untold history of people of Aboriginal, Moor, and African descent. The groundbreaking documentary that challenges conventional knowledge.
I don't really think it's hidden. It's there. It's just that they're not allowing us to understand.
Well, this is the higher meditation because these are the times right now the earth is moving in a positive vibration. People, they might wake up and rise up. These are the times that we are talking about. Keeping it positive, keeping it real. King Selassie, Rastafari, govern the earth and the people them. You see me, I say, yeah.
Rastataya, Rastataya, Rastataya. This is the Shaka from station to station to tell the generation and the nations. Rastafari. Education is the key. All youth strive for development. Rastafari. Love is the key. Give them that. Give them that message from me.
Them a wonder how blessed radio do this. I see them come with tongue. Future prophet tell them we locks get longer. Eden heart it on it. Bless radio, you don't know. Pop the good music. Play them.